Hey guys, good evening. Good evening, over the farm. How's everyone doing? You're welcome to tonight's show. Welcome back to our channel. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy Sunday. How was your weekend? Hi, 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 hi. Beautiful people. Welcome you. Bio, I see you. Welcome. Gina, you're welcome. Fumi, Anne Marie, Claudius, child of February. Welcome. I salute each and every one of you. Thank you very much for keeping it a date with us tonight. I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I encourage you to please give this video a thumbs up as you are coming into the studio. And if you're watching us live on television or any other device and you are yet to subscribe, please give us the gift of your subscription. Join our family. We are very good people. We are nice people. We are happy people. Even though sometimes we share, stories that are very, very emotive here, but we try to keep it as light as possible. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and put your notification bell on as you are coming in. I've got a guest in the studio. I already told you guys today that we have a young man. His name is Obiora. And he has come here tonight to share with us about his experience. This is his lived experience of, growing up in a home where there was DV. So Obiora said to me that his mom endured years of DV from the hands of his father. And he's here today to tell parents, women, men out there about the impact that it has on not only the mother that experienced it, but him and his siblings, the children. So you're going to hear from him directly. He's going to be talking to us. He's a grown young man now, but he's still saying that the thing still impacts on him till today. So as usual, you know how we do it here. Please give him a warm welcome. Make him feel relaxed. It's not easy to put yourself out there. We don't encourage any kind of abusive comments. If you say anything negative or you become abusive in the comment section, I block you. That's the way we do it. Straight in. We know we don't waste time here. We like to respect the people that come here to share. It's a platform where we have managed to create a safe place for people to share their deepest hurts, the things that have impacted their lives. And they are sharing it not because they want to shade anybody, because they want to abuse anybody, but because they want it to be a learning curve for others out there to know these things are real. We come from a culture that is very, very is muted. You are told to shush, don't say anything, keep quiet. But keeping quiet doesn't make things go away. It just escalates it. So please make Obiora feel welcome. Thank you so much, my Obudu fam. I know you guys are amazing. Thank you. So, Obiora, I welcome you to our channel. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. And it's a wonderful experience sitting here and giving this story. I know I've been able to just talk about it with families, my immediate family, that's my mom, how she coped and all that, but still able to share with everybody. It's a whole different scenario at the same time.
Yeah, thank you so much. I didn't tell you this before, but you have a broadcaster's voice. You know that? The way you talk,
Wow.
your voice is so sexy. If I'm allowed to
Really?
say that.
Oh my God. Like,
Oh, your
I,
voice is so deep and it's so masculine and it's like a
I,
broadcaster.
that I do not know because I wasn't told all that. I was
You
always told you're too slow, your voice is too slow, you don't do this, you don't do so.
really?
Yes.
Don't listen to them. I'm telling you today that your voice is super sexy. Well,
Oh,
ladies, in the comment section, don't you agree?
oh my God, I'm blushing.
You're
It's so
blushing.
good. It's so good.
You're welcome, my darling. You're welcome. Thank you
Thank,
so much. Thank you very much. You don't know what you are about to do. You're going to
thank you very much.
this experience you are sharing today is going to help a lot of people, not just women, but also men and children out there who may be going through similar situation or they've been through it in the past. So I appreciate you and I really applaud you for for choosing to come forward. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. I
All
also
right.
appreciate the platform.
Thank you. So you have the floor. Tell us from the very beginning how what you remember about this whole experience of growing up in this household, about your mom, and as much as you want, you are comfortable sharing.
Okay. First of all, I'm the first of five siblings. We are three boys and two girls, coupled with my mom and my dad, so it's a total of seven. And from what I can remember growing up as a child, I witnessed my mom being beaten for the slightest provocation. Most of the time, as a child, you do not know what will trigger the fight. But most that I usually or most we notice, I noticed was especially when they go out, when couples go out for a wedding, an event, my mom will usually come back first because my mom is this type. My mom is a very hot. I would say she's very hot-headed, and my
Mm-hmm.
dad is also hot-headed. So their personalities are almost the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad is the type that he will lose his provocation at the slightest, and my mom will do the same because I think maybe because she's an only child and grew up with the midst of bullies, so being able to defend herself
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So I think that's why she got that aspect of personality from.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom doesn't keep late nights. My dad can go to an event, go to anywhere he wants to go to, and come back the following day. He doesn't care. But my mom has a timing. We go out. I need to be home by 4 o'clock. I need to be home by 6. I have children. That was us it for her.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll go for a wedding. Go out together, and she comes back home first.
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, you can't tell. You just feel, mommy came back home first. Then he comes up whatever time he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you're hearing upstairs is goes baz, goes baz, goes back, 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 back. The whole thing it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes on for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And the next maybe you have now come in contact with your father, he will transfer the aggression to the children.
Mm-hmm.
It went on like that series of times. So what she would usually do is when the fight is about to start, she would just take us into a room because it was a duplex and tell us, do not come out of this room till everything is over. So you dare not step out. So her own way is just to keep the children out of the way because she already knows his routine.
Hmm.
He would beat her, and maybe one of us is just hanging around. He would transfer the whole aggression to that child.
So she was almost expecting what is going to happen, that she's going to
Yes,
receive beating
yes,
that day. So she takes you out of the way in
yes,
preparation.
yes, she will take each and every one of us out of the way because she already knows what can trigger him. And no matter how she tries to avoid it, it would happen. And according to her, she would always say, outside the fact that they will always go out, according to her, she said maybe the slightest, oh, bring money for food because she was a housewife. She was a housewife, she was still a student and
Mm-hmm.
still having kids. Oh, bring money for food, it's a fight. Bring money for the school fees for the kids, it's a fight. So she can't even tell where she would lean on, and it wasn't going to be a fight. From the slightest, his philandering was off the roof
Hmm.
also. So it was just a whole lot. And being a young woman, and after going to complain to her father, her siblings, her in-laws, because my dad has three sisters. And they'll be like, what are you complaining? He's taking care of the children. He's taking care of you. You have your house, you have your cars. What is your problem?
Hmm.
It went on and on
And
till
you said that he married your mom quite early,
yeah,
and
he
there
married
was
her
an
early.
age gap. So you said your mom married at 18,
Yeah, my mom married at 18 and he was 28.
28. So there's
Yes,
10 years age gap
10
between
years
them.
age gap between them and
Mm-hmm.
all that. So it is just it went on and on. So my mom was able to just tell herself, okay, if I have to go out with this man, I have to have money with me. Once it's 4 o'clock and I want to leave, I leave.
Hmm.
Because she said, if you go to meet him in the occasion and say, okay, I want to leave.
Mm.
Even if when she started having her money was an issue, he might raise the dust. So she would leave and come home safely. She had also made mention of him. They were in the car. They had an argument, and he said he pushed her off the car. And what she said, they were on Third Mainland Bridge, and she walked home. She can't remember how, but she knows she found her way back home that
So
very evening.
is it that your dad, when because you say most of the argument was from when they go out, did she want him to stay out late with him? Because you say sometimes he used to come home 4 a.m., 3 a.m., any time of the morning. Is that what he wanted for her, for his wife to remain with him, even though you were quite young and there were five or four of you at home at that time? Was that what he wanted?
Yeah, so he's the type that he wants, if he's with you and you both go out together, if he's going to stay till 1 a.m., you should be able to stay till 1 a.m. Do not come there to call him and tell him, oh,
You want to
Papa,
go home?
yeah, Papa
Mm,
Obiora, we need to go home and all
mm,
that. Do not try it because
hmm.
he can beat you there. Drag my mom would say he would drag her to the car. Maybe her clothes are half torn, all her jewelry's on the floor and all
In
that. So
public.
in public. So she said it was a sequence. So she said she started keeping, having money. She knows she's going out with the husband. She will have her money just in case and go. So if she wants to leave, she will leave. And when he started getting her own car, they go in separate cars just to
Hmm.
avoid stories that touches the heart.
Yeah.
And that was how it went on and on. You know, little things that you do not expect. Most of the time, we can't even tell. And the next thing you were downstairs, you're upstairs in your room, and you're hearing, you know, the fight immediately. And once the fight happened, what do? We just lock the door because you never can tell when he would show up into your room and take out the um what did they call it? Take out the
Aggression.
aggression on you.
Yeah, on
Yes.
you. Mm. And you
So
also said that I want to quickly bring this in that you said that when you were young, you were the first, and
yeah,
that it started from even before you were born.
it started before I was born because the time came being an adult and now being able to express yourself and ask yourself why. Like why are you here? Like why did you have to we now had to confront our mom and like why did you stay this long
Mm.
for you to withhold? So she was like she doesn't know. She was married off early. She was pregnant at 18, going to 19, and got beaten the very day her tradition. She has come back to his house after the traditional marriage, and he had beaten her. And I was like, so why didn't you leave? Why didn't you just go back home with the pregnancy? She said it wasn't easy. That what would people say?
Mm-hmm.
And not like what will people say? Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, fine, okay, the first one happened. The second pregnancy, you still did not leave because he said he also beat her that he was not the type that would care even when she took in. He didn't care whether she was whether she said because her number one described was like, oh, all those pregnancy symptoms that women go, the husband is there to massage. She said my father wasn't there to do any of that. So her pregnancy was
She
just
was on her own.
she was on
Mm.
her own, even
Mm-hmm.
when it came to asking for the baby's food. I said at the point in time, she said it was during the second when she had my sister that she requested for baby food, and he just packed her things and took her straight to her parents' house, left her with a 3 weeks old child. No money, no nothing. They had to come and beg again for him to accept her back.
So she requested for baby food for your sister, who
Sister,
is a
yes,
baby.
yes,
And this is a full-time housewife that had no income.
no income, yeah,
And your dad packed her to her parents' house,
yeah.
returned her with the baby and all of you. Or was it
Y-
just the baby?
the baby and me.
Okay, and your mother's family were the one that came to beg him now to take her back.
Yeah, to take her back because there was nothing they could not take care of her. And she didn't come from a very wealthy family, according to him,
Mm-hmm.
and all that, So she didn't come. There was nothing they could do. She was an only child from her mom,
Mm-hmm.
so she just had to go back and just deal with the situation she was facing. So she, at a very early age, she now knew the kind of man she married,
Mm-hmm.
and she dealt with it, the beating, consistent beating. When this beating, if the beating happens on the weekend, the chances you will go to school on a Monday is very slim because my mom is being beaten blue black. Like she will look like someone who fell off a trailer, a moving vehicle.
Hmm.
That's the way she looks, so she will look so battered, and she's the one who will always drop us off at school.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the severity of the beating, you might not go to school on Monday, you might go on Tuesday, or if that Tuesday, if the father of the house decides to take you to school, he will. But even while he's taking you to school, everybody is on edge in the car
Hmm.
because he could be driving, he asks you a question, you can't answer. One hand is on the steering, the other hand is at the back, and he's lashing out on everybody. So it happened for so long till the day I remember I was 15, and my mom decided to stop the beating herself.
Tell us
we
how
do
this happened.
so
Mm.
we do not know what happened. I can't say what triggered the fight. So because even whatever she said, I'm like, so it's just like it doesn't make sense. It's always nothing compared to the level of the beating. So this was a Friday, and we all were coming back from school. My dad had parked very close to the house by the corner just to make a turn to the house, and he parked and he would just enter the car, and everybody entered the car. And it was off for me because one, you never see him at that time of the day. You would never
Mm-hmm.
meet him at home at that time of the day. His coming back home was 4 a.m., 3 a.m., so everyone is asleep, you know. And everyone got into the car and he drove. And he bought gala and la casera, and he just drove there. My grandfather was still in Lagos with my mom's stepbrother, and he drove to the house. I don't know what part of Lagos that is. If I still do not have a remembrance of it, but we drove there, and he said, "Okay, you guys should come down, go into the house. I'm coming." And we all came down from the car and went into the house, and he drove off. We didn't even know he drove off. So getting into the house, my grandfather was like, "Who brought you guys?" "Oh, a father." I know they went outside. There was nobody. So, "Are you sure your father brought?" I said, "Yes, he brought us here." I said, "Where is he?" So we don't know. He told us to come into the house. He told us to come into the house, and this was it. There was no phone as of that point, that time, or that year. There was no phone. There was no way to contact anybody, and we stayed there with school uniform and with all the school uniform from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There was nothing. They could not take it because they kept like, "Where's your mom?" We didn't know, and they just drove us back to the house to find out what happened. And going back to the house, we knocked on the gate because this was a duplex, and we knocked on the gate. My mom opened, like, questioned who is at the gate from the room, and she said, and we answered and said we were the one. And she came down, opened the door. Her father asked her, "What's the problem?" And looking at her, she had blood. Because she had a white shirt on her, and it was blood on that shirt.
So he carried on the gbasgbos even while you people were not in the house.
Yes, so from what my mom explained to us was she didn't know where we were. It was time for her, time for us to come back from school, and she didn't know. So apparently, he had dropped us and come back to beat her.
Hmm.
That was what happened. So, we seeing blood, her dad and her stepbrother were like, what's the problem? And being my mom, a very heady person, she just told them to go home, that she will sort it out herself. That if
Hmm.
anything happens, they should be ready, they should prepare themselves for a burial. It's
Hmm.
either they will bury her in law or they will bury her. That they should go home and that nobody should call her.
Hmm.
That she has her 5 children, and that's the most important thing to her. Then that everybody should go home. And she said it, and they're like, okay, if she could make that declaration. They kept asking her, what is the problem? Who has this blood? And she said it's not hers. It's not hers, that is the husband. Where's the husband? She said she doesn't know. And they went. So one time she had to explain, because from the gate, when my mom opened the gate, there was blood from the entrance of the gate, from the gate down to the entrance of the house. There was blood. Looked at her. She kept asking, "Where were you people? How did your father take you? What happened?" We explained everything, and then we asked her what happened, and
Hmm.
she just burst out in tears and explained. She said, I can't even remember what she said triggered the fight. You
Yeah.
know, I can't. But she said he had beaten her, then locked her in the house, locked her outside the house, threw out all her clothes, burnt it because we saw where something was burnt. We didn't know. So he had thrown her out of the house, locked her outside the compound, and burnt all her clothes.
Hmm.
So
Hey.
all she had as clothing was what she was wearing
Hmm.
at that point in time. And she has given her the beating, and he left. And she didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to contact us. There was no way, there was no money and all that. So she was just stranded in the house. And the way the house was built, all the air conditioners were outside with a burglary proof
Hmm.
on the outside. So, and the room downstairs, she said she looked at it and found out that the burglary proof was not locked.
Hmm.
So she opened it, pushed the AC,
Hmm.
dragged the AC, and put it inside the room. Then
Hmm.
sneaked in through the
These
the AC,
events.
yeah, went in there, returned the AC the way it was, entered the house. She said so. She kicked all the doors to the room, to the house. She kicked all the doors open, went to look for a key. She said because we have a lot of keys, because there you have to lock, and hold her. So she took the bunch of keys and went to look for the one he used to lock her from the gate. And she tried, and one of the keys that was also alike with that particular padlock, and it opened it. So she exchanged it, took his own, kept it, and used her own to lock the door, to lock
Hmm.
the gate, and waited
It
for
seems like
him.
something that happens in movies. When you see movies,
Exactly. When you see
it
certain
seems like
movies,
things that happen in a movie. This is
movies.
real life, my
So,
people.
so she explained that that's what she did, and she said there was literally no food as of them, but the little she could make, she said she was hungry. She ate something and waited for him to come back. Then she said she puts the padlock there. This very heavy padlock that the edges were very sharp. She
Hmm.
said she had it in her pocket, two in one pocket, two in the other pocket. And she said that was the day she made up her mind that it's either she will bury her husband and go to jail, or the beating will stop. That was what she made up her mind, that two things will happen.
So he's pushed
And
her to the wall now. She was
yeah,
tired
so
of it.
yeah, he has pushed her to the wall, and she said, so he came back. I think that's what, according to her, she said maybe it was the duration he had dropped us off, and he came back. He tried the key, the key didn't open,
Didn't
so
work.
it didn't
Hmm.
work. So she was looking at him from their bedroom, because from their bedroom she can see who was at the gate.
Hmm.
And she was looking at him. He was struggling. He didn't know what it was, because he kept looking. Oh, the padlocks are the same, but how come the key can't open it? So she came down And he was like, "How did you get into the house? How did you get into the house?" She said she didn't know why he had so much effrontery of questioning her why how she got into the house without him. That she didn't even know why, but she said she went on and opened the door for him to come inside. So in the process of opening that, he did notice. She said she opened it and stood her stance as someone in a boxing ring, according to her. And she said he loaded her with slaps, and she was already, when someone slaps you very hard, and she said she couldn't see, but the only thing she knew was the padlocks were in her pocket, in her pot, that she just brought out the padlocks and aimed for his head. And she said she landed the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, and blood was everywhere.
Hmm.
And she said then he ran away because he said he had white on. He said she went after him,
Hmm.
destroyed his car, he destroyed his car, broke his windscreen, dented the whole car,
Hmm.
and left.
She's the one that is attacking him now.
Yeah, she was the one doing the attack now. She said that was what happened, that all the blood we are seeing on her. I said it's your father's. She
Wow.
said then she was then she was scared because she didn't know if he would survive the bleeding. She said he kept running for his life because there was a lot of blood.
Because he's
And
seen
now,
another side of her. She's been taking the beating lying low all these
yes,
years.
yes. So
Finally, this woman said, today, somebody must meet with Jesus today.
exactly. So he went on, and that was it. So when we came home, there was literally no food. So she just was able to just look for whatever the patches that were left. We ate. We ate Monday. I think we went to school the following that Monday. Then she started us, everyone who had homework to do that evening, that Sunday night, we had to do our homework for that Sunday night to go to school on Monday. She gave us transfer money from, where she keeps her own personal money. And we went to school that Monday, coming back, there was no husband. All the
He didn't
doors were,
come.
there was, yeah,
He's run away.
he ran away. So we did not see him. So, my mom had destroyed all the doors with trying to get forced entry into the whole house.
Hmm.
So she destroyed also all our doors in that particular house were all, you can't lock any of them anymore. And my
Hmm.
dad decided not to fix the doors. My mom said she wouldn't fix the doors. And all the doors, so the only doors that were good were the door to the main entrance of the house, to the gate. That was it, and the back door for the kitchen. That was it. But after 1 week, he sent his sisters.
Hmm.
She sent his sisters to come, and do the retaliation.
So
You know,
the same sister that told your sister, your mom, Shebi, you've got your car, you've got your children, you've got your house. So
exactly.
why are you complaining about beating?
Yes,
Ordinary beating, you are
ordinary,
complaining.
exactly. So
Hmm.
apparently, so because we also witnessed the DV from the sisters to their husbands. So my dad's
So,
family
so
is,
it's a family of
it
abusers,
was,
all
yeah,
of
it
them.
was a family of abusers.
So your dad was busy doing this ghostbusters to your mom,
Yes,
and his own
and
sisters were doing it
sisters,
to their
they
husbands.
were doing it to their husband
Hey,
because we
Chineke.
witnessed it when we go on holidays. So they came. He told them, this was 1 week after the whole thing, and they came. They're like, "Oh, where's your husband?" She said she doesn't know. They confronted her that night. "Oh, where's her?" She said she doesn't know where her husband. I said, "Oh, as women, Igbo women that who are so full of themselves, they're like, they said all they wanted to say, but the eldest sister was like, why would when God wants to just deliver you, He will use your enemy to deliver you." And the eldest sister was like, told them that why would their brother continue beating this woman for so long? What do you want her to do? That she's not here to have this argument, that she wants to go home. And that was what caused the brawl between the sisters themselves.
So
That,
the Lord put enmity between them
yes,
that came to
between
fight your
them,
mom.
that
They
came
started
to
they started quarreling
they started
themselves.
quarreling themselves, you know, and they just, they left and they just went and quarreled with their brother. And after some time, after it, Then few days, and this was almost 2 weeks, he came back home. His head was stitched already. His car, he had fixed his
It
car.
was that serious.
It was serious. His head was stitched. His car was fixed. Like you would not know anything happened to his car. He fixed his car and all that, and and that was the last time I know I witnessed him lay a hands on her.
Hmm.
He would only say, at the man that he is, he would only say, if I slap you, and my mom would tell him, you know the way it is for you. And that was the limit he would go. And he
So they
never did.
carried on with the marriage after that epistle of your mom
Yes,
unleashing her inner dragon on him.
exactly. So
They carried on.
they carried on with the marriage for, I think it was after a year. That was, I think, maybe after a year, if not less than. He left. He just walked out on the marriage, because he would always call us. I know the very day he left, he didn't tell anybody we were in a duplex. He just called us one Sunday afternoon. They had their quarrel, their usual quarrel, and nobody went to church that day. He called everybody one after the other and started laying curses on himself and not
Hmm.
any of us. Oh, you would suffer. You people would know the importance of having a father. You would drop out of school. He said a whole lot to one after the other.
Before leaving, he called his children and started talking and saying things negatively about your life
Yeah,
before leaving the house.
before leaving, he
I
said
mean, how damaged was this man for goodness sake?
it was horrible. It was. So he said all that, and my mom came and like, what are you telling the children? And she told us to leave. And he said no, that they should stay in the living room and
And
listen to what
listen,
he's
and
saying,
listen to his evil
to
words.
say what he's saying. And my mom couldn't do much and told the smaller ones to leave. So I had to sit, and my sister and my other immediate and her immediate younger brother was a student. I had to listen to all the crap he was saying. But while you're listening, you are still on the edge of you're still on the edge of watching the television and saying to yourself, if he makes one wrong move, everybody is scampering away because nobody wants to be on the receiving end of whatever beating that was going to happen.
Hmm.
And that was it. The following day was a Monday. We all came back from school. I met my younger siblings outside. They were all crying, and everything was like, what's the problem? Oh, daddy have left. And I was like, because he always says it, he would leave. And that very day, I think he summoned the courage and left. And
In Nigeria, a man
yeah,
left his house,
he left.
left his wife and children.
So he left, he
Hmm.
dropped a written note and his wedding ring on the written note. And my younger brother was holding the note and like, with the wedding ring. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there looking at them. Have I shedded my tears? Yes. We were all crying. My mom came back from there. She was now doing this Tokumbo business just to support the family, just in case anything happens. And it
Hmm.
happened
Yeah,
under
because he's
the
been saying he was going to leave.
yeah, so and it happened, but there was nothing she could do.
How old
And
were you then, Obiora?
then at this, I was already 15 when
Okay.
this happened. So I was 15 on that year, and I think my brother had clocked 12 because it happened on his birthday. That
Hmm.
Sunday drama happened on his birthday, and the following day was on a Monday. So my mom came back and like five children were seated outside. What is wrong with you? Daddy have gone crying. They gave her the note. She read it. She read it with the wedding ring. His wedding ring he dropped, and
Hmm.
she took us. We went upstairs. His whole clothes were gone, like those important things you will know that, oh, this man have has left, so he has taken. So she checked everything. She found out, oh, that he did not just she we didn't even know what it was, but he had gone, but we
Hmm.
didn't know he had traveled out of the country.
I see.
So this was 2001. This happened and he left 2000. We didn't even know, but his sisters knew. that he had
Of course.
abandoned his wife and his children.
Of course they will know. They are partners in they are partners in crime. The
Yes, so
abuse runs in their family.
yes, so they didn't know he was an outsider. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, there was nothing. School fees were going to be paid in September. In September, their house rent was going to be paid. She didn't know what to do. She was like, okay, let her go to his office and see. Was an
Hmm.
outsider that was like, oh, madam, how is your husband? I saw he was packing food stuff in his office with his sister. So when the visitor, there's somebody within their market space in his office was saying it, she now had to call because she didn't know anything that his sisters were on the loop of how the husband left. So she called, even though his secretary did not know he had gone. So 3 months' salary, the girl
It
was not
was
paid.
owing them.
He
Hmm.
was owing and all that. So, and because the girl was, or his secretary was also a family friend, my mom had to pay her 3 months' salary and told her that your uncle is no longer coming back, that she should look for a new job and
Hmm.
all that.
She's a kind-hearted person. She didn't
Yes,
need
so
to do that.
she
The
didn't need
secretary
to
does
do
not have
the,
a contract with her.
doesn't have a
Your mom
contract with
doesn't
her
work in the
now.
office.
My
She's
mom
not a
doesn't,
registered
she's
a
not
director in the company,
director
so she
and
didn't
all
need to
that.
do that. She
So
just did that out of the kindness of her
out
heart.
of
God
the
bless
kind,
her.
yes. So,
Mm-hmm.
she just paid her off and told her that she should look for something else to do and all that, Then, she had to now call her sister and like, hey, I heard you packed food stuff for my husband. Where did he go? And the woman just like, oh, you feel you can take care of 5 children? Now we'll say my brother is no longer around. So let's see how you will do it. That was
Mm-hmm.
the statement the woman made to her fellow
They've come
woman.
to mock her. Yeah, they've come to
Yes,
mock her.
another, the mockery went on, and that's a different story for the day. So
Mm-hmm.
coming to down to with the children, when he would beat her and beat us, because my dad was so hostile that he did a whole lot and all that. But for me, I will now speak on myself
Right.
because when the beating goes on, I think he saw me as a very vulnerable person because I was very extremely quiet as a child. So
Of course you
he
will
saw
be.
me he
You
saw
will
me
be.
very, very vulnerable, and he would always beat me at the slightest provocation. Sometimes I didn't understand it as a child. I was like, I could not even stand in his presence. When first kids are close to their either the father
Fathers
or the
or
mother
mother.
here and
Mm-hmm.
all that, it wasn't like that for me. Like I couldn't even stand in his presence. He comes into the living room. If I've been in that living room watching television, I'm out of there. I'm going upstairs to my room. It was just as at the time he would just notice that I would leave and he'll like, where are you going to? And I'm like, I'm going to my room. He said, but you've been here for and even if you
Because the energy in the room has changed once he comes in.
yes, the
No
moment he
child is happy when the mom is being battered every day. Once he
yes,
comes into the room, the energy of that room has changed.
will
No child wants to
change
stay.
and
You don't
all
want to be
that.
in his presence.
So I do not want to be in his presence. Nobody wants to be in like everybody will just leave. Everybody would leave. All five of us would leave. I think I would say four because my younger sister, she didn't understand anything. So she would be the smallest one and she would just be sitting there watching television. But the rest of us will leave. And he would always, oh, why did come back, and maybe if other people go, he would not let me go. He would tell me to stay, sit. And it went on so bad that I had uncontrollable bladder the moment I hear his voice.
Oh my God,
Like I
that's
would
trauma.
like I would not be able to hold urine anymore.
That's trauma. That's the
So
impact of the trauma that
the
you were going through as a
yes,
child.
so it went on. The moment he calls my name, I'll be like, I want to use the restroom. You tell you're not using the restroom. Stand here every day. You want to use the restroom. You want to, and like, I want to use the restroom. And I would want to leave. I will notice he wants to come and hit me. But I had to choose between doing it there in front of him or going to the restroom to do it and let the beating happen in the restroom. I would
Hmm.
just run straight to the restroom, lock the door, and he's on the door, he's banging. I'm shivering already. I'm crying for God knows what. For it went on and on and on. Even in the middle of the night, I would still be bedwetting, and I stopped bedwetting after he left.
Hmm.
I stopped bedwetting after he left. Nobody, my mom didn't. I couldn't tell her because she wouldn't understand. Then
Hmm.
they would say it's a spiritual problem and all
Mm-hmm.
that. Because even when he left, I didn't have any remorse. I was like, to me at 15, it was good riddance to bad rubbish
Absolutely.
and all that. So I did not feel the impact of his presence. I just said to myself, at least he has gone. Somebody will be beating me again. That was my mentality at 15.
Hmm.
And it got so bad, the beating went on, and like my mom couldn't even stop him because if she came in the way, the beating will continue on her because most of the time he would have beaten her and he will come and pounce on me.
Hmm.
So for her, she's nursing her own pain and can't even come to defend at that point in time. So
Well done, Obiora.
it just
Mm.
happens a whole
Mm.
lot. It went on for years till he finally left in 2001. For my siblings, my immediate younger sister, she has this resentment
Hmm.
trust. We all have trust issues in the house.
Of
So
course.
Shina has trust issues for men,
And yeah.
women,
Mm-hmm.
anybody, and all that. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge wall when she's having relationship with people, even
Mm-hmm.
friends and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The moment to her you do anything wrong, she will flare up.
Mm-hmm.
She would always flare up. Her immediate younger brother's own, he took the temper of my dad. That one
Hmm.
took the temper, and he would lose his temper at the slightest provocation, and has hate for virtually everything.
Hmm.
No patience, hates. He just hates everything and anything that would just bring him discomfort. Anything that, though he, as much as he still cannot tolerate men who beat their wives, he did the same thing himself, and we had to remind him and say, look, your father did the same thing and you're doing the same thing to another woman. And
So
now
he's married, your younger brother.
he's not married. It was the girl who had the
Girlfriend.
baby for him, a girlfriend, and
Okay.
he beats the, oh my god, the beating he gave the girl. I told the girl, I called because I was here and they called me. Like, I told the girl, why, like, what did you do? And she's like, I just had to wait for your mom to come. I'm like, you don't wait for my mom to come. I tried forcing and pushing her to do the right thing, but she was just relaxed, and I had to take my hands off. On my brother's case, I told him that you are lucky I am here in the US, that the way I will treat you, that I will pay somebody that will beat you 3 times a day, that you will take it as a doctor's prescription. You come out in the morning, somebody will beat you. You come out in
Hmm.
the afternoon, you do not go to lay hands on someone's daughter. That
Yeah.
your father did the same thing. You
Yeah.
witnessed it, and you're doing the same thing to another person's daughter.
Yeah. It's a
And
learned
that one
behavior. Mm. It's a
is
learned
so.
behavior. Yeah.
And for my other brother, the last one who's older than the second to the last child, he just has like the trust issue is within each and every one of us.
Yeah.
And nobody trusts the other person. Nobody can take the other person's excesses. So it's like those
Hmm.
things you already know that would cause altercation. Is before you bring it up, we tell you just hold it. Don't even bring it up. And everybody is very defensive in terms of handling people generally. And mine, the trauma of constant bedwetting, like I cannot hold my bladder once my dad is in my presence and all that.
Hmm.
It was horrible because there was how even my mom would not understand. Explain to us as I grew much older after he left, but down to the university, what we have this conversation of how did you stay, how did you do this, and I'm like, did you know that the series of beating that I stopped bedwetting till I was 16, 17. And she said,
Hmm.
I didn't know. I said, well, you won't know because you were facing your own demons, and I will, because I know if I had told you, you would not be able to understand it. You would have taken me to a church and taken me for deliverance because that's the most you
What
would
she
do
know. That's what she knows. Yeah.
and all that. So
Mhm.
it just went on and on. But as I just thank God that at the end of the day, we all are alive and everybody is doing well. My mom is being able to survive. My dad left, he never came back. Yeah, he came back in 2009, 2013,
Did
but
he ever
still
send money? Did he ever send money for your upkeep? Did he ever look back since he went to the America
he
since when he was
never
16?
he never sent money. All the time he left, he never sent the money. Was It was a lot of altercation then, where there was no, you have to go to the cyber cafe to make calls. Those years where you had to go to business center to make international calls, it was expensive, and that was how we could keep in contact. Even you call him, and then my mom would do it on the weekend, Saturday morning, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock at the dot, we are at the cyber cafe to wait for our own turn to make the call, because she has calculated the time of it's 6 a.m. here for him, and believing that he's awake, and she will call. So if the call comes to me, he's upset. So she will start from the youngest or his favorite child, because my immediate younger sister was always his favorite.
Hmm.
So the call will start from my mom won't even pick the call. She will tell her to make the call or any of my siblings to make the call. By the time he speaks with them, every other is when it comes to me on my mom, he will trigger and that
Hmm.
conversation will end.
We will shut down quickly. Somebody asked a very good question here,
Hmm.
which I wanted to ask you, Obiora. You are doing very well. Thank you so much. You
Thank
are
you.
so well composed. So you articulated your thoughts very, very well. And I really appreciate you sharing this because I tell you, there's a lot of learning. I didn't want to interrupt you because I just want you to offload.
Hmm.
And thank you so much for doing that so far.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a very good question here. Was your mom forced on your dad in terms of marrying her because he got her pregnant? Or did he, because I can't see any outer of likeness. Let's not even talk about love in this relationship between him and your mom. Did the family make him marry her because he got her pregnant? Is that how the
No,
marriage started?
no. So according to her, because when we now began to ask her, how did you meet this man? Like, where did you go to and
Mm-hmm.
you saw him? Because some she was like, I was walking on the road and he said he likes me. I like, of all people to like you,
How will
like
she
really,
know?
of all
How will she
people,
know?
how of all
Mm.
people, she said, he like, and he came and made his intention. Then it's not a matter of there was no courtship, there was no nothing. Oh, I like you, I like you. I was come and see your family. That was how the marriage went and all that. So she said it was when she got into it. She was like, oh, is this is this the person that my parents handed me over? But then to come out, they would tell her to stay, and and that was it. So it was not, I would not say he liked her, but at the same
Mm.
time, I would, even when the time when he came back in 2009, we asked him, what is the problem between you and our mother? And there was no genuine reason. He made mention of, he gave a flimsy excuse of the goat he bought on her traditional and the father rejected. Like, that's not an excuse.
Goat.
He
The,
like
the reason why he was beating your mom on a
beating
daily basis is
basis.
because of goats
He said it
from
was
traditional
he
marriage.
said it was goat from the traditional, and we looked at him and like, are you serious? Like, you are talking to illiterates. The goat in 1980, God in 85. You bought in 85. It cannot be the goat. There is more to it.
Mhm.
And so there was no genuine reason on why.
Because
And I said,
it's
look,
like it's either he's there's something wrong with him in
and
his
all,
brain. And he's not it's just there are three things I'm looking at. Is either this man was so wicked and he wanted to inflict pain on your mom. He enjoyed seeing her suffer.
like
Oh,
it's a family thing. So it was more like he just enjoyed. That's the way he grew up. That's the way his father grew up, and that's what he saw.
right.
That was the way, because according to my paternal mom, which is his own mother and my grandmother, she's late. She said that my father is a carbon copy of
His
her
father.
husband. Yes,
Mm,
and all
mm,
that. So when when things happen repetitively, you're like,
mhm,
okay, because she was going through it, and she will complain to her mother-in-law, and like, why, like, she, because my mom didn't see her father-in-law, because according to that he died early, so
mhm.
she didn't see him. So, she just heard stories from her mother-in-law. Then, people, the surrounding neighborhood are like, they're like, and they tell her like, your husband is not half
Of what the father
of
is.
what the father is.
That's one thing I just dislike so much about our
This like
culture.
culture, yeah,
We're always trying to, when it comes to abuse, it's like, oh, your own is even small. The
the,
one I went through, it's like it's a contest. Something
yeah,
Yoruba say ohun tí ò dá ò dá. What is bad is bad.
bad is
Why are you
bad.
competing about who endured the most?
So their marriage was just most people married that like that, but they still live in peace. But for him, it was just hatred. He was just naturally hateful. Because even I remember my paternal mother would say that the slaps the husband gave to her destroyed her tear ducts, that tears would just roll off her eyes even if she's laughing. That because
So
of, yeah,
is she
because
trying to say this to say that what your mom went through is less than what she went through?
that,
So
she's an old woman of 80, then she was in her 76, 78, and she was like, she doesn't know what to do. Now she has something to say, she would tell her, but she's an old woman, she couldn't say, but she just told her. Because then my mom started asking her, why is it that nobody, a little thing, tears is falling off your eyes?
your
She said,
eyes.
yeah, 'cause my mom is
Hmm.
very observant. She said, is the impact of the slaps she got as a young lady,
Hmm.
marrying the father of marrying the
The
father of
father-in-law. The
the father-in-law.
father-in-law.
Yeah,
There was something
that's.
I saw on social media
Hmm.
today, yesterday. Somebody said, "Why is it that marriages these days are not lasting like our grandparents' marriage?" This your own grandparents is a typical example. That your grandmother endured all that and put her own children through it,
Yeah.
resulted in your father being the beast that he was or
Hmm.
that he is. And now you are saying that one of your brothers started acting out like him too. You see?
Yeah.
So, I mean, because back home in Nigeria, of course, back then there's no access to, people just learn to live with whatever they are going through, whatever
Going
life
well.
throws them. There's no therapy. Has any of you, including you and your siblings, were you able to access, now that I don't know how many of you are in the diaspora, but you obviously you live in America. Have you been able to access any kind of therapeutic, services to help you deal with this PTSD
Uh,
and trauma?
no, I haven't been able to access any therapy because I'm still finding my feet. Anyone would say, "Oh, three," because I've been here 3 years. People will say, "Oh, 3 years is a long time. You can't do it." But I haven't. I haven't. But I'm something I'm also looking forward to do,
Mm,
because it affects me. Because when you just sit and think of it, I'm like, and just ask yourself, why were you the one? You just keep blaming yourself. At the end of the day, it's like, well, I can't blame myself. I didn't bring
it's not your
myself into
fault.
it. It
No.
wasn't my fault. So,
Mm,
it happened that way, and maybe for a reason or whatever, or maybe for no reason, but it happens that I was also a victim of it. But the only way it just helps me, like, I would always discuss it. I would talk about it. Like, if I want to talk about it, maybe it's just my mom. I will call and just
mm,
ask certain questions like,
yeah.
"How did you?" Like, I do not understand it. But that was just it. She felt that was just the way she was able to deal with it, because my mom will beat you physically and spiritually, and she will still use the Bible to back herself up. That was how my mom would be. So even
That was her own coping. That's how
that
she
was
was
her
coping.
that was her
Mm.
own coping mechanism to
Yeah.
deal with it physically. Even when his sisters, because after he left, his sisters came in because he gave one of them all his properties, handed everything to his sister, his
Mm.
youngest of his sisters. And
When
my
he
mom
has a wife and five whole
kids.
children.
It happened that way, and my mom got had resentment for all of them, the entire family, the children. So she cut off relationship with everybody. So and everyone came physical to her. And my mom is this person. She will tell you. My mom doesn't keep grudges. You upset her, she tells you this is what you did. Do not do not go past your boundary when you're dealing with me. And she gave all his three sisters a warning and said, I do not want to know, even if we are going for Holy Communion. This was her own word. If we're going for Holy Communion and your wrapper touches me, I will drop my Holy Communion and beat the living daylight out of you. Before she said, I will beat you before the vicar or the priest come to separate us.
Oh.
And did she do it? Yes, she did, because each one person came.
Mm.
I witnessed one, the eldest of his sister,
Mm.
when her
But she
mother,
was defending herself though,
she
because they
was
came for her.
defending. Yes, it
They
came to
came for
her,
her.
and she defended herself, because when I see certain women say, "Oh, my sister's husband came and they slapped me," it's not in my mom's case. She
Mhm.
will beat. So
Well, she's ready. When they come, she'll tie her up and tie
she's
it
ready
properly
and
and
all
deal
that.
with them.
So she was ready to deal with them. She beat the eldest daughter, my eldest that sister. She beat that one. The second one, she came. That one is late. She beat that one in a burial. Where you're having a burial
Mm.
and you're hearing someone is fighting. So then, growing up, you're like telling my mom is stepping at you, be like, God, please let her not fight with anybody, please, because and that's
Wow.
it was that bad, because 2000 and from 2001 to two till let me say 2015.
Mm.
From 2001 to 2015, the peak period of it was from 2001. I got admission in 2014. So I would say 15, but her peak period was 2001 to 2004. My mom
Mm.
is ready to trash out anybody at that point in time.
Mm.
Like, she's on the road, she needs something, you didn't give it to her. Those was her fighting mechanism, because she had 5 kids to
Mm.
feed. And people who didn't understand her then were like, what are you doing here? Your
Mm.
husband is rich. Every day you come here in the business, you are fighting. You're fighting for goods. How much are you going to gain? 2,000 naira. Is it 3,000? Your husband has a lot of money. Why are you bothering yourself? But nobody understood what she was going through
Mm.
all those years. Till is right now she's calm, she can travel, she will do what she wants to do. Like, she will call and say, oh, Obiora, I went to Ecola Meridian for the weekend. I said, good for you.
Wow. Go,
I,
mommy.
I was
Go,
like,
go,
I was like,
go.
I said, good
Mm.
for you. You are not a widow, you are not a baby mama, you are not a divorcee, but you are comprised, you fall under each and every one of them, and we will just laugh over it and all that. So, she was able to treat all her sister-in-laws and put them in their own position, and
Mm.
beat everybody, and she cut off the relationship with all of them.
Mm.
And everybody was like, oh, yeah, they'll tell you, oh, if you go there, or she might beat you, be ready.
Mhm.
Know what you want to say.
So even after he gave them all the property, they were still coming for her. Did
Yes,
they
yes.
help you? Did they support you? These
No,
so-called aunties.
nobody supported anything. They did not support even the youngest of the. We went to court. I would not advise anyone to go to court. The court system in Nigeria is horrible. They will bribe and all that. Court system is horrible. We went to court just for him to pay jam fee of 5,000 naira then. And his sister had one of his properties in his house in her hands, where she was collecting the rent. and she was not giving anything to her mom. And we went to court. My mom just went to court and said, "Look, you can hold the property. I'm not interested, but when you collect the rent, just give me a certain percentage to take care of these kids." And it didn't work out. And then the sister was like, "Okay, they'll come to court, they will act up, act a lot of drama." And the justice who was sitting in that proceeding would be like, "Oh, madam, you are the one. You can see your family, they are willing to help you, but you are the one, you're so hot tempered, you're so this." And my mom is like, "This is not what we are seeing outside. It's a whole different ball game." And
Of course.
one of them, the youngest, who was the sole attorney to my dad's property, said, "Well, that I have not visited them for a long time, so I should come and pay her a visit." And she
Wicked women, very wicked.
wicked,
When I say women, women are the ones that are the worst people to support abusers.
yes,
This issue of sister-in-laws is another one we are going to talk
is a
about on this
different,
platform.
yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Sister-in-laws.
Yeah. So, and I went and we stay in Okota on the mainland, and this woman stays on the island opposite Ikoyi prison. That's where she's. And I went there, and she saw me at the gate, because from the gate, it's the house was so updated, upgraded, and all that. And she sent my younger cousin to tell me, "Oh, that I didn't book an appointment. That your auntie said you didn't book an appointment. That she booked an appointment before coming to her house."
Hmm.
And I took myself back to the mainland. I told my mom that this was the first and last I'm ever going to go to her house, that I would never book appointment to see my so-called auntie if this is what it's going to cost
Hmm.
for me to go to school, or for us to go take the jam
They
form.
just want to make you see
You
you
know,
guys suffer.
suffer. Yeah, did they? Maybe to them they saw us suffering, but to us we were not suffering, because my mom just did her possible best and put everyone through school. Everyone got admission. In as much as I know I did not finish, thanks to you, thanks to Unilag and their federal education system in Nigeria, I was able to move here. But the one who graduated, and everyone, we all passed through the four walls of a university.
Hmm.
And now we can sit back and say that we're just grateful to God for just keeping each and every one of us alive, because the whole well, during the abandonment, my immediate younger sister attempted suicide
Okay,
at
we use
at
delete
40.
here. Hmm.
Oh, sorry.
And try to delete himself,
So
herself.
she, so
Yeah.
she oh sorry. So she tried to delete herself at the age of 14, because she
Hmm.
couldn't stand the fact why her father left.
Hmm.
She couldn't fathom it. We were just in the house, and we had a cousin who was living with us, and she came, ran over, and I told her mom that she doesn't know that my sister is not breathing, she's lying lifeless. But this was Tylenol.
Hmm.
37 She took 37 tablets of Tylenol.
My
and
goodness.
and
Hey,
my
look
mom
at
was like,
everything that your mom had to deal with by
what,
herself.
by herself and all that. She went to the hospital, and the doctor looked, they're able to resuscitate her and all that. And they're like, doctor was like, this is a 50-50 chance. If she survives it, you know that she'll survive it. She survived it, yes, but she had a terrible reaction to the drug. All
Hmm.
her skin peeled off for 6 months.
Hmm.
My mom went to my mom went to every dermatologist she could think of in Lagos.
Hmm.
And I would tell anybody, like, no matter what problem you go through, do not have a problem where you will not even have the money to
To
see
solve
yourself
it.
to solve
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Did my mom have the money? She did not have the money, but she was just able. She just had resources of where she could
Ah,
go,
women are strong, oh.
and she
Women are
went.
incredibly
hmm,
strong.
She went through all the dermatologists, and one of them was, I think that was Beatsin, if I remember. Yeah, that was Beatsin in Yaba. And the dermatologist told her that, "Madam, we're sorry, there's nothing we can do. If this is what it is that you said, that this is just a reaction of, it's either death, I mean, it's either she deletes herself, or this reaction will take place. There is no medication we can give to her. It
Did
would
she get
wear.
better with
Yes,
time?
yeah, because the doctor said it would wear out of her system. That there is
Mm,
no medication they will give to her to work.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just the adverse effect, and it for 6 months. My sister would wear long sleeves, hand gloves because her skin was peeling off like a lizard.
Hmm.
You've seen my picture. You've seen me before the video. I am light
Yes.
skinned. So
She's
imagine
light skinned and very
more. Yeah,
handsome.
she's and very yeah. So my sister is also light skinned and very pretty and all that. So imagine a 14-year-old girl at that age,
Hmm.
very light skinned,
How's
and
she doing now?
oh, she's fine, but her skin got back better and all that. You won't even tell.
Yeah, it's
You
not
won't.
even the skin. I'm talking about
Yeah,
mentally in terms of interpersonal
mentally and
relationships as well.
interpersonal relationship. She's broken because you're trying to have conversations with her. And she doesn't just see it in your own way. It's either her own way. It's either her way is right and every other person is wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the way she sees hers and all that. So
Thank you
she's
so
broken
much.
and all
Mm,
that. But we're just thankful to God that we're able to all survive it.
mm. Is
And
she in the
because
US, your sister, or she's
yes,
still in Nigeria?
yeah. So I have two sisters here. My immediate younger sister and the baby of the house. They are both
Mm.
here with me. So we are three here.
And does any of you have a relationship with your dad at the moment?
No, no, no. So he cut off. He cuts off. We don't know where he is presently. We do
Hmm.
not know where he brought us here. He filed a visa. We paid for it ourselves, but we do not know where he is.
He brought you to America and you don't know where he is.
We do not know where he is. He will just wake up and move. He will change his number, and that is it.
Hmm.
We don't know where he is. He's 66, and nothing. We can't say this is him. We can't say he's tall, he's dark again, and all that.
Well
Oh,
done, Obiora. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. There are so many lessons to learn. But I want to ask you,
mm-hmm.
personally, you've talked about how, the trauma that you suffered, how it affected you as a kid. And even now, going back and forth with your mom to speak to her about it, to get like clarities, almost like you are looking for answers.
Answers, yeah.
Yeah, and I completely understand that because all of you were children. I mean, you were still a teenager when it all happened, and you started witnessing this thing from when you were born. I mean, you sound like a very well-grounded young man. You sound very reasonable, and I can't perceive any kind of aggression from you because your personality is very calm and composed. But do you think because of what you've experienced growing up that has affected your own relationships as well?
Yes, kind of. My relationship with people is I'm very upfront on what I want, on how I handle things. And being that upfront here and being in the US here, even back in Nigeria, people would say, "Oh, Biora, you're so saucy. Oh, you're so rude." I'm like, I'm not rude. It's just my own defense mechanism of handling situations. And also, when I come in contact with people who will seem to be violent,
Mm,
because I will sense it in their body language, how they react to people, how they react to situations, I just
mm,
take myself out of it. I take myself out. Like I do not even wait for you to get to that level. I will just read it in your body language and in the signs that I'm getting from you. I will take myself out of it. Because I
mm,
also had a situation where I had to date this Black American girl, and I just came into the States, she sees a Nigerian who is handsome, and we're just having a conversation. We've been talking, and she will come pick me up and all that. And having a regular conversation, and she looked at me dead in the face and like, oh, I'm going to beat you blue black. Like coming from a black American lady, I will beat
mm,
you blue black. I'm like, and me, my own defense mechanism was, I don't think you've been rejected by any hospital in America. But the
mm,
day you try it, that's the day I'll make sure I will descend on you. Do not
mm,
look at and after the whole situation, I played it back in my head. I'm like, this is something is off,
mhm,
you know. It's something somebody cannot just wake up and say they will beat it. They have
When
thought
there's
of
no
it.
quarrel, nothing, she
There's
just
you're
start
not quarreling,
talking
and
about
he
beating.
just talk about beating something, and I asked her like, what's the problem? Why did you make oh, I'm just joking. I said that's not a joking matter. She
She
doesn't
doesn't
even
know.
so she doesn't know
Mm.
my background and all
Doesn't know
that,
your
but
background. Yeah.
so that alone, it just I said no, that I cannot continue and that was I
I
said
don't blame you.
I said please
Mm,
drop me off. So like,
mm,
I'll drop you at home. I said whichever, just drop me off or you drop me at home. But the moment you drop me at home, do not come again to come see me. I
yeah.
can't
You did
deal
the
with
right thing. You did the
and
right thing. You don't play with something like that to be
I
posted.
don't play with
No.
something like that because I've seen it play out growing up. Dad would tell my mom, if I slap you, your eyes
Mm,
will fall off. So if
mm-hmm,
a man would tell you that, that he's ready to do and undo with you. So
mm,
and I'm like, you can't just we are not having an argument. And there's certain
yeah.
arguments, even if I have with you as a person, there are certain
Mm.
words you cannot use with me.
And
I
that's
do not
that's the problem with women. You see, some women, the kind of things they say, if a man says it,
hmm
we will consider that man abusive. But
yeah.
because it's a woman that is saying it, she thinks it's okay to say something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah,
But it's not.
exactly.
It's
But
not acceptable for you to
it's
be planning to beat somebody in the future
in
when you
the
are not even
future.
quarreling. That's to
You're not
tell me that you are a violent person.
violent. So that alone, I like no. So even if like the people I hang out with, the moment I just see any subtle, I don't even wait for the if for it to escalate. Just the
Mm,
subtle ones, I'll
mm.
ask you what's the problem, and if you cannot give a genuine reason on what like that relationship with or friendship has ended with me,
I don't blame
I,
you.
I just drop
Mm,
it off immediately. So I
yeah,
have very few circle of friends
yeah.
who I know they are saying upstairs. If you want to be upset, yes, so you can be upset, but there are certain words you
Mm,
cannot say. There are people can be
yeah.
upset, and if they have a glass of wine in their hand, they will use it. They will throw it on you.
Yeah, it's
You
zero
know,
tolerance. You have
it's zero
zero
tolerance,
tolerance to
and like
anything violence. Yeah.
yeah. So it makes me already have zero tolerance for violence of any kind.
Mm,
People like that, and I do not just come. I do not take it for play at
yeah,
all. Even my younger
absolutely.
sister, yeah, my youngest sister, you see, she's 27, and she doesn't even tolerate it. She would like, I cannot even tolerate a man. He shouldn't even raise his voice.
Yeah,
She will tell you only raising his voice, it has ended for me.
yeah.
And I'm like, "Ah, he has not done anything." He said, "No, the
Because it
one you
starts from raising voice.
Yes, she said before
Mm.
they said the one your father did to your mother, they want me to do the same thing. and
I don't
and
blame her. I
and we
don't
would
blame
just laugh
her.
at it. I was like, true, Lord. I'm like, well, you're saying the truth. I don't blame you and all
Mm.
that and all that.
Yeah,
So
well
that's
done.
just the whole thing.
Thank you
We
so much, Obiora. I
we
really, really appreciate you. And finally, I'm sharing my link in the comment section, guys. If you want to come in and say something, there are so many notes I've made I'm going to talk about, but I will talk at the end. I just want to ask you, Obiora,
Mhm.
why did you want to share this story with us tonight?
um reason because I've not been able to say this publicly because a lot of people go through this. People
Mm-hmm.
from even it affects children, and somebody would say, I've heard people say, "Oh, my dad and mom they're fighting, and we did this and we did that, and that's why I could not finish school. That's why I could not be sane. That's why I'm acting the way I'm acting because
Mm-hmm.
of watching all your videos and all that. I'm like most of the women. I just say to myself that if only these women are just equipped. They know their worth even before going into marriage,
Mm,
irrespective of whether the marriage turns out good or bad. If you
mm,
do not know your worth, the man will take you for granted. And I decided that I just have to share my own experience because I lived in it. I grew up in it and
hmm,
I thank God that I was able to take myself out of it, but still not out of it. I'm still
hmm,
living the traumatic experience
mm-hmm.
of it, but it did not make me succumb to where someone would say, man, I'll be like, it's because of the way my dad treated my mother.
Yeah,
That's why I could not do this. I could not
yeah,
like you see
yeah.
me outside, you can't even tell.
Mm,
like you would not even tell, except when I open and tell, say, oh, this is what I went through and
Mm,
all that. And
yeah,
people will be
I
like,
completely
wow, how did
understand.
you
Mm,
cope with it and all? Yeah, so
well
it's
done.
yes, thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much. And how is your mom doing?
Oh
Lastly.
god. She's wonderful. Like
Oh.
she's now the chief. I call her chief enjoyment officer because
All the ones she didn't enjoy from
all
18.
the ones she did not
I mean,
enjoy.
guys, Obiora told me before the show started that she had her babies from 18 to 20. How many? 20 what? 28?
29. She finished.
29. She
She
had five
finished.
kids between 18 and 29. So please, allow her to enjoy. She
So
deserves it. She
yes,
earned it.
yes. So she was able to, she fought it. She lived it. If she was to die,
I hope she
well,
stopped fighting. She's not fighting
oh
again.
no, she doesn't fight it. Like she doesn't fight it. No,
Oh, I just love her.
we got to a certain age. So right now she doesn't even fight. She'll be no people will anybody who meets her now like, oh, your mother is so interesting. Oh, she's like, you need to know her before this. I don't
Oh.
think you will tell. You will
She's
not
been through
even
the
start her.
fire, she's
Yes.
been through
So
the fire. She's been purged, she's been washed, she's been through it all. You know
yeah.
how people say that diamonds, when you pick up diamonds, they in the raw form, the way they are,
Hmm.
it go through a lot of processes for
They
them to be
go through,
shining.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's your
go
mom.
through a lot. She
That's your
went
mom.
through a lot.
Mm.
She's a landlady in Lagos. Her husband's
Oh,
house was sold. She stood by it. The bank couldn't, and when the bank wanted to take the house, the bank she made sure the bank settled her. Even
amen.
the bank settled, gave her a particular percentage. She left. She built her own house. Even when the sister-in-laws are like, "Oh, let's see where she's going to take five
Evil
children and go to."
sister-in-law. Hey?
Let's say where she was going to take this year. She moved into her own house. It was small, but it was peaceful. It was her own, and all that.
Hmm.
She did everything. She sent five kids to school. She took care of her
Hmm.
parents. Her
Wow.
mom, because she's the only child from her mom. She has step sisters and
Mm,
step brothers. She buried her parents last year and last 2 years respectively
mm.
without, oh, there was no husband. Today we talk about it. I'm like, I just look, you should be grateful. You should not even complain about anything again.
Yeah,
Like
it wasn't any use. It wasn't useful
he
anyway.
wasn't,
So
yeah, he wasn't.
living was doing her a favor. By living, he did her a
Yes,
favor.
yes.
Hmm.
For him to leave, he did her a favor because he felt to him, he was like, you will use your legs, or you think you're living in a house and all that. Don't worry, when I would leave,
What's the big deal? It's not even
like,
the owner. It wasn't even the
ex-
owner of the house.
and
Is he the only one that
exactly,
has house in
it
Lagos?
was
House that
like
is renting and is still boasting. I
that's
beg
that's
you.
the thing with people who are very
Mm,
violent and all that. They feel they
mm,
are occupying someone's own, and they just keep to it and make mouth. But she did everything.
God
She's
bless
just,
her.
oh, I can't
Somebody
even
say,
say.
yeah, somebody say your mom, Obiora, your mom is a heroine. That's what
I
she
just,
is. We
yeah,
believe
senior
that
producer
absolutely.
Bennett. Oh yeah, she
Mm,
is, like, she fought.
mm,
She had to fight men to put food on the table. She had to do a
hmm,
whole lot. And
hmm.
right now we she in as much as, yeah, she raised us very hard, and it was
Yeah.
difficult. Even when we are like, oh god, this woman, dear what she did.
She did what she
Oh,
had to do. And
she
the way
just,
you talk about her affectionately, I can tell that you have a very good
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, so and all that. So even leaving, when I had to leave, she was like, just go," because I grew up very close to my mom and her mother, who is my
Oh,
grandmother. I'm growing close to both of them, and my mom was just, she was good, because I won't say she didn't have her flaws. She definitely had
of
her flaws, but
course.
I
Of
can't
course.
judge her with it, because the
No.
life alone she's given to me, and the resilience and all that, it's priceless. I can't pay for it. And I
Yeah.
just look at it and I'm thankful. We look at it, we laugh. I like I said, I call her, oh, chief enjoyment officer. Where are we going? Where are we going to this weekend? She's like, I don't,
Yeah, of
I
course.
do
You
not
have her
mind.
flaws, but I mean, you know what? It could have
Mhm.
been worse.
It
Some
could
women
have
will take
been
the children
worse.
and dump
Yeah,
them with those evil family, and you imagine what will happen. Because she will say,
yeah,
I can't do it. I can't do it by myself. Five children by
yeah,
myself. You know,
yeah.
They are your children. Look after them. Imagine dumping you with this your evil aunties. What they
Hmm.
would have done to you. The abuse would have continued.
Like I the abuse would continue and
Mm,
all that, but she stood her ground
mm.
and said, irrespective of everything, she would still be able to take care of her five children, even when it was like she would lose one person. God being His infinite mercy, we did not lose this my same sister who decided
Yeah,
to delete herself.
yeah,
She had another occurrence. There was nothing. We ran helter skelter, and she survived it also. But
yeah.
we are still here. We all complete five. She didn't lose anybody in the midst of all the whole drama and all
Mm.
that. So we
Well
just we are
done.
just we just thankful for it. Everybody, you
Yeah.
look at, even back in Nigeria, people would say, "Oh, your children are all half caste." What? How? And they're expecting the husband. For people who don't know how, like, oh, your husband must be very light
Light
skinned.
skinned.
Light skinned.
Mm.
She's like, no. I'm like, how your children are all half caste, and she's like, no. So please don't even bring up that issue.
Yeah. Close it. Close that door.
So
Don't open
like,
it, please. I'm trying to
please
forget.
don't close it and all that. And
Thank
I
you.
think her own
Mm.
coping mechanism for also, I think she went to, she said she spoke with in an Anglican church. I think it was a vicar they called them,
Yeah.
when things were going so bad. And the man, as blunt as he was, as painful as he was,
Mm.
he told her, "Can you bury your husband right now
Hmm.
mentally? Can
Hmm.
you live your life as a widow? Can you just accept that this man is dead?" And
Hmm.
she found, she was like, "How am I going to do?" She said, "That's the only way you will cope.
Hmm. Who
Take
remembers that? Can you guys remember this? When Iyawo came and shared her story, the daughter said to us that she's already buried her dad. That as far as she's concerned, her dad is dead to her. Even though he's alive, she's mourned him already. That was the way
already."
she could cope. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That
So
was another situation where
the
a young person,
situation.
yeah, told us
Yeah.
about
So
the abuse the mom suffered. Yeah.
and the man told her that, "Hey, just live your life as a widow. Accept that there is no man in your life, and just take care of the children, like no husband, nobody. You have
Hmm.
nobody around. It's just you and the children." It took her, it was a hard time. She came back and she said it and told them, because then anything you tell her outside, she would just bring it home and
Tell
deposit
you
it
guys.
and tell you
Hmm.
guys, because
Hmm.
to her, I think that was the only way she could cope. She would
Cope.
say, "Oh,
Yeah.
she's an only child, so the only sibling she had was just
You.
the
Yeah.
five of us, and all that." And I think I took that into myself and told myself, well, 2001, that was the day I buried my father.
Yeah.
And even when she wants to talk about him, I'm like, this your husband. I don't even, I hardly say father, I say your husband. I would tell
Mm.
her, this your husband. He's buried already. Oh. If he physically dies, for me, I buried him. I don't know
He's
what
rest
you are
in peace
doing.
already.
That
A
I
man that can
buried
go
him,
like that.
you know,
Mm.
without nothing and all that.
Mm.
But
It is well.
today we are all doing okay, and
Mm.
we speak English. Everybody like, how come you guys are speaking English? I'm like, if we should go and sit down, please.
Thank you so much,
Thank,
Obi. Thank
thank
you. I
you.
really,
No,
really
I
appreciate
should
you
I
sharing the
should be
story.
thanking you, because ever since I
Mm.
started watching your videos, I just listen to it. I'm like, most of the time I'm in tears at work, and I'm cleaning, the tears coming out of my eyes are
Oh,
working, listening to other
ew.
people's video. Like
Oh,
it
thank
was
you.
it was immaculate. It was immaculate YouTube videos
Story. Yeah.
I
Mm.
watched. I just listened to it and walk, and like, oh God, this woman went
Mm.
through. Then it was yours, where you gave yours about your sister, and so
Mm.
many others. I'm like, no, I need to share mine, and
Thank
maybe
you.
people would see the different lights of, when you can, about children. Maybe when a child is doing certain things, you notice this particular teenager is just being unnecessarily
Mm.
out of
Unruly. Mm.
unruly, out of
Mm.
character. These are just
Mm.
the signs. It's either something is wrong in the home. and they can't
Mm,
just express it, and it's just
mm.
tells and all that. So that's
Thank
just
you.
it. But thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, Obiora. We are sending you virtual hugs, okay? I know
Thank
that these experiences that has happened to you, which you didn't ask for it, you didn't deserve it, but it happened. But I know that God is using it to prepare you for something bigger in your future. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I really, really appreciate. God bless you. I wish you and your siblings the very best. And your mom, of course, is gonna get better. And one thing that I can re-echo from a lot of what people are saying, I've got people, please come into the studio. My link is in the comment section if you want to say something to Obiora. Somebody in the comment section has been saying, this is my story, this is my story. Please come into the studio and come and say something to just encourage him, pray for him, whatever. Just, lift him up. My link is in the comment section. Please don't call me on WhatsApp. It's on the studio that will do the course. The link is on the comment section. Come into the studio and let's have a conversation. Thank you so much, Obiora. Thank you. I
thank you
really
very much.
appreciate you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Bernice, worship team, you are here, but your connection is not good. Can you please come back again? Maybe your Wi-Fi will be better. Welcome, Sister Bernice. You're muted, sis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good
Hello,
evening.
Lady B. Yeah, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm good, thank you.
Uh, ah, at a point, I cried. At a point, I smiled.
Mhm.
I saw a
Very
great man
brave.
right there.
Very brave man.
Great
Very, very
and
brave.
brave.
Mm.
When I was smiling, I said, "How I wish I can see this young man now hugging. How I
He's
wish
so handsome. If you
how I
see,
wish I can
they are
even
not
see the
fighting over
mother.
him in the US. I don't
Hmm,
know. He's so good
How I wish I
looking.
can see the mother. Hug the
Mm.
woman. Just hug
Mm.
her and look at
Mm.
her and smile. You made it.
That is the
I
kind
am
of
so
women that,
happy.
oh my God, she earned
You
my
see,
respect.
you see, that
Wow.
woman in my respect. I don't know her, but I just love her without even knowing her. I
Mm.
love you see, not that I don't encourage aggressiveness, but I tell you,
Mm.
you do not let someone treat you like trash if you
That is
know
the
it's
only way you
wrong.
can survive, Unko.
The only way you
Sometimes
can
you have to
survive
just
in the
fight back.
jungle. Because
Mm.
that man brought her the beast in her. That man took her to the jungle and brought her the beast in her, and she gave it to him right back. I am so happy
Mm.
that she never sit and cried. Because if she had just sat and be crying and crying, she will lose focus. And I tell you, these children, she won't even know how to organize them. I
Yes.
am so happy for that woman, and I'm so happy, like she said, chief enjoyment or what is it?
Yeah.
Ah, Obiora, I love you so much. I love your story. You were so touching, but I am so happy that at the end you all are together. Please, my dear, that just like Lady B asked you, good thing you are in USA. I'm in US too. Good thing you are here. You can go for therapy, my dear, and
Is
your
it free
sibling.
in the US? You have to pay, isn't it?
Oh, you
Yes,
have
it's
to
free.
pay to
You have to
some.
pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to pay, but I don't
Mm.
think it depends on because if you don't have a job and maybe I don't know if he's a student or he's
You know
working.
their own healthcare system over there. If it's here, you can access counseling free through the GP in the UK. But their
There,
own healthcare system over
there
there
are
is private.
some. Yeah,
Mm.
I never really had a have an issue or idea of how people go because you see all this experience people go through. One of some of us might say we are lucky we've not been through all that, but I know such thing happens. I
Yeah.
believe if you Google it or dig out or search, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's in the
There might
medical
be
system.
charities that offer. Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
might
You
be.
should
If
definitely
it's
look
in
into it, Obiora.
because
Mm.
he grew up with it and
Oh
America
my
know
God.
they
This,
knew about it. He has
look
seen
at the
it and
mom.
he lived
Oh
with
my
it and he
God.
grew up with it. So in such a situation, if he asks question, there might be help for him free. I tell you, it's not everything. I know America they like charging, but it's not everything that they just go. Everything is money. Mm-mm. Sometimes
Mm.
because they know such thing, if he's not a great and brave man, such thing can destroy you, can destroy somebody. You grew up with that such Mongo Park. Is it a Mongo Park? I don't even know. That one is worse than
It's
Mongo
worse
Park.
than no. Mango Park are even better than. I didn't know that we will ever see someone that is worse than Mango Park.
It
This
is
one,
worse than Mongo Park.
hmm.
But
You
the
see,
mother,
you see
hey,
what I'm seeing from this, Sister Benis, is how abuse can be generational. Can you see?
yeah,
You see how abuse can be. This is why we talk about breaking that circle, breaking
break
that chain
oh,
all the time.
break
It can
it.
become a generational thing. The grandfather did the same thing to the mother.
You know, when he was
Today,
saying the
the
story,
grandmother has no tear. She's
hmm,
always crying. She cannot hold her tears again because of slap.
she cannot.
The father did the
The
same
watch,
thing.
if you watch,
Eh?
those is his aunties that are doing
Aunties
that to
are
their
all
husband
damaged people, beating their husband up and
because
down.
they are all damaged. Why they are beating them? Because they saw what their mother went through, and in them they said, "I can never take this." You see, so that is why they don't even allow their husband to even say Jack. They will say Robinson and the senior brother of Robinson on top of the man. They are damaged too, but you see, they are in denial. They don't know what is wrong with them.
Yeah, that's why they are joining their brother to beat the wife
That's
now,
why they
to
are
come
joining
and
their
fight the
brother.
wife, because this
That's
is
why
all
they are.
they know.
Well,
Their
what kind of
life is
wicked people
so
are that?
no, their life is so upside down that the only thing they know is how to inflict pain on others.
Flipping on others.
Hmm.
Oh, Obiora, my dear,
Jesus
I'm so
Christ.
happy for you. Please, just try to ask if you're not in the medical system. Try to ask in the states
Yeah.
where you are.
Omoye's
Ask
corner has told
them.
us. Omoye lives in the
Yeah.
US. She said there is free counseling available. Obiora, please
Yes.
Google it. Google
Okay, please
in your
Google it.
state
Okay,
free
Google it,
counseling. Yeah,
and
because there
please
are
help
always
me.
charities that offer these things in the diaspora.
Yeah, make sure your sisters they do same too, so that it
They
won't
need it.
damage. Because I have a friend. This guy is a Yoruba guy. We met sometime like 4 years. I didn't see her again, but I have her number. One day I was passing through the city where she lives. I said, "Ah, let me call this girl." This girl was so respectful, a Yoruba girl. When I called her, she answered me. I said, "How are you?" She said, "I'm in your neighborhood now. My friend just moved in. Where are you?" So that we can lock. I said, "Ah, auntie, I'm not there again." Oh." This girl opened up to her story. Lady B, who something day in this world.
Yeah,
Today
you
said
do.
even her own daughter is saying to over her dead body will she get married. I said, please look for counseling for her. It's
Yes.
over her dead body will she
Yes.
get
It
married.
can get so bad that the
It
children
can
will
get to
never want to get
her,
married again.
her story was so bad.
Yeah,
When she was
because
telling me this, I was
mhm,
driving. I said, hold on, wait, let me park. Because I was just getting in the car. Because I can't believe somebody will treat somebody like that. And this they
mhm.
got married in Nigeria. Not that they imported the one. No. Both of them got married in Nigeria until the man came here. The young
Oh,
man brought her here too with her two children. They had together in Nigeria. Then when she came here, she had the rest ones. And the man could give it. She said, "My dear, so I moved on. So I don't. I will never have anything to do with the man again."
yeah. But
That
the
is what
thing
she
is
said.
that unfortunately, not all men are like that, okay?
Not
But
all
you
men.
know, our perception of life is based on our environment and our experiences.
Yes.
It's what you go through that informs how you view this life. You
When
understand?
he said the story, my mom was telling me,
Mhm.
I believe the father grew up like that. He saw maybe that's how their grandparents. My mind, that's what before he mentioned it, my mind went straight to because
Yes.
I keep telling people the way the children grow up in the family,
Yeah.
that is the
And
way of life.
the risk is that his brother, if he still lives in Nigeria and he doesn't get help, he's going to turn out to be
Is
like
going
that
to be
father.
like the father.
Yes.
Please, my dear
Yes.
Obi,
The
I
tendency
am
is
so
there.
happy for you that you're
Mm.
here and for the man you are, even in your words, that shows the kind of person you are.
Mm.
You are a nice man, and I know you are going to make a nice home. But
Yeah.
please, that therapy will
Thank
help you
you.
so much. And please
Thank
help
you, sister.
your sister that
Mm.
that is aggressive. Don't blame him. Please, and do
Mm.
not be harsh on him because that
Mm.
is what he grew up to
To
know.
know. Yeah.
He saw that as a way of life. So please,
Mm.
as a senior and with the kind of heart you have, and I can imagine, I'm just visualizing the kind of great man you are. And I know you're going to be a great parent because you took everything to heart. You saw all that. You never supported such thing. That is why you don't like it too. Please
Thank
don't
you.
blame any of your siblings that will just be harsh on people unnecessarily because that is what they saw this life as. Just help
Mm.
them a little you could. And please, your mother, please do me a favor. Love her more than even as you love her now. That's what I'm begging.
Yeah.
Love her more than you love her now, please.
Thank
Kiss her on the
you.
foot every minute. Tell her that God loves
He
you.
just sent me a picture of the mother. If you see her, she looks younger than a 40-year-old.
Oh
The
no.
woman looks
That, wo-
hot, very
that
slim.
woman, that woman is a
Really.
lioness. She
She is
fought
though.
and she won. She's a lion.
Hmm. She
She
deserves
fought
an
and she
award. She
won.
reminds me of Don Davis's mother. They are
That is
women
a
like that.
Deborah.
They will
There are
fight.
women like that too. Deborah
Mm.
that will fight and,
Mm.
and make sure.
Yeah.
Obiora, my dear, may you be
Thank
blessed.
you.
And please,
Amen.
just Google it. In America here, you will get help that you need.
Amen. Thank you, sis. We
Bye.
appreciate you. God bless you. Kelly, you are next. Please, if you want to say something, come into the studio. Worship team, your internet is still not good. Oh, Kelly, please unmute yourself. We are going to leave in 10 minutes. So if you want to say something, please come into the studio. Say something to Obiora. Where are all the people that want to uplift Obiora? I'm waiting for you guys. Hello, Kel. How are
Yeah,
you?
this is, yeah, I'm fine. This is Kele. It's Kelechi
Is it
actually.
Kele or Kale?
Kele, Kele.
Kalaichi.
Instagram
Hello, Kalaichi.
Kelechi.
How are you?
It's Kelechi. I'm
Hey,
fine. I'm fine. Thank you so much for the show and the opportunity to talk.
you're welcome.
Obiora, I just want to say, you guys has you really had to go through a lot, and thank God you came out strong at the end of the day. You know, while you were telling your story at the point where he talked about how the mom decided to retaliate, it just reminded me of something, and I just started laughing. You know, I had this aunt at one time. She was enjoying back in Nigeria. I'm actually calling from US now.
Okay.
So she used to enjoy a lot of DV from her husband. He would hit her and so many things. And then one day she just told herself, enough is enough. And that day, when the guy tried to hit her, he was surprised. She fought back. She beat him like she hit him mercilessly that day. And that was the very last day. Till
Hmm.
right now, the guy is late. Well, it wasn't that thing. That wasn't because of his death anyway. He still lived for many years before he passed. Till the day he passed, he never lifted a finger to hit her again. Like
Hmm.
that. So it was, I just started laughing when I heard that part. I'm like, this one that craze, they cure craze for some people. Oh.
Yes, so the alternative is for you to leave. If you don't get
Yes,
power to
yes.
fight, but you
Yeah,
need to
you
do
know,
something.
but back
Mm,
home now, living is always like, you know, with the stigma and there's so many what will people say. I don't know. It of course it can't work for everybody, but it was
yes.
just very funny because
Yeah. Kele, what's happen? Your network done.
uh,
Are you here? Yeah?
yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So anyway, I just wanted to say you Obiora, you guys are strong. You've made it this far and it's very good at least you know what you were able to identify what you've gone through. You're able to identify the triggers. You'll get the help you need. You guys will come out stronger and better, you know. I pray that you guys get through this, even your siblings, your brother, your sister, so that we don't have to cycle this whole thing over again. Thank
Amen.
you, and I'm sending you virtual hugs.
Thank you, Kele. I appreciate
Yeah.
your call. I like your bubbly spirit. You remind me of me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
Yeah.
right, bye. Thank
Thanks.
you, Frisbee. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your show too.
You're welcome. You're
All
welcome,
right,
Suri.
bye.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, somebody is asking a question about dating a man that has experienced DV trauma. And they are asking if that they've recommended therapy and should they continue dating. Well, it depends. I mean, I would say to this, it depends on how the person presents. Do they have the tendency to, to be abusive themselves? Are they willing to engage in therapy? Do they seem like, because it's not everybody that comes through it that actually follows that pattern of behavior, like Obiora now. The way he sounds, you can see that he's not somebody that's is violent, or is gonna, there's he's chosen, with everything that happened with his mom and the situation, he's chosen a different path. Okay. But some people would choose that same behavior, or the behavior will choose them, because we don't know which one follows safe. Whether now you choose the behavior or not the behavior, because children experience things differently. Okay, two children can experience the same thing, the same DV situation, and both of them will turn out differently. One will choose not to be that way, the other one will choose to be exactly like that. So it depends. I think what you should advise your friend Ying is that they need to assess the situation and know what they are dealing with. Nobody's going to be able to tell her, oh, don't date him, leave him. She needs to make that assessment by herself to know, you know, does he have the, what are the triggers? Is he going to, turn on her? Is he willing to accept help? Denial is the worst part. When somebody is in denial and you never accept that you've gone through things, you don't want to deal with it, then that one is actually very, very dangerous. Okay? But when you accept it, you know it, you are aware. Self-awareness, very, very, very powerful. Thank you so much for that. So, my people, this is it. If you want to say something, please come into the studio. Let's wrap up very quickly. And I'm just going to add by saying that if you are a man, worship team, you've been here a million times. Unfortunately, your internet connection is not good. I cannot add you. Okay, if you can change your internet or Wi-Fi, that will help me. I see you, but it's not properly connected, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Uh I will have the audacity to tell her, leave him to work out his issues, sis. Not necessarily. I mean, like I said, if he doesn't have the tendency, he's not, being aggressive, violent, shouting, or mirroring that behavior of the abuse, that the trauma he experienced as a child, then why not? Let me tell you something. If you want to run away from people that experience DV, you run away from 90% of, not even 90, maybe 95% of the people that come out of Nigeria. Like Gigi was saying that a lot of people who were born in the 60s and 50s experience a lot of PTSD, and a lot of people are going with all sorts of problems, mental problem, anger problem, so many things. So yeah, Gigi said, bro, Obiora, you sounded so much like my other brother, Obiora. Oh, Obiora and Obiora. He too is first of five. He's my hero. He's a very good example of a good man to his wife and children. I believe you do well. I pray for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gigi. That was wonderful. Thank you. Oluremi said, Auntie B, I remember my ex-brother-in-law threatened my sister that he will be her. My sister told him, you dare not, because you will no longer have, what? She will cut it off. Hey, she will cut it off. So that's a very good one. Gabriela says, yes, Auntie B. It's not always easy for guys who experience DV to come over it. Like Blessing CEO ex-husband experienced DV, but he couldn't come over. He beat her without any problems as well. Well, you never know. It's case. I don't like blanket statements, because when you say this, it needs to be applicable to the person that you are talking about. Okay, like I said, people experience things differently, so you never know how people will react, and some people will not even disclose. Shebi is even if you know that they've been through DV, some will not even tell you. So yeah. So it depends on who is involved. So you cannot really advise, but she should definitely get him to therapy. That is very, very important. Somebody have been trying to come into the studio, but their network is not good. So I'm going to add by saying that if you are a brother listening to this out there, please, I hope you learn. We have no control as children over what happens to us. But when you're an adult, you have a responsibility to make sure that you address those faulty, settings, all the things that happen to you that you feel has not really prepared you for, to be in relationship with other people. You have a responsibility to address them. Please, if you are broken, no fault of yours that you are broken. It's because of what life have dealt you with. It's because of this family that you come from. It's because of this generational abuse that we're talking about. You need to address it. What you need to understand as a man listening to this, or a woman, because women too can be very, very abusive. And I have a case we're going to talk about this week that we're going in, about DV to men as well. Know that as a father, based on Obiora'S story, that your daughter, you are the first love. Hence, you see how Obiora'S sister reacted. Eh? You see how Obiora'S sister couldn't take it. She tried to delete herself twice because she was heartbroken when her hero, the first love, the man that she loves the most in this world, was he left. Okay? Always think about the impact this will have on your children. Do you want your children to come back in 30 years' time and be narrating this story? You want your children to be in therapy for the rest of your life? Think about whatever you are doing. Think about your children. Even though you don't care about your partner, your wife, whoever, think about your children. They carry your blood. This is your lineage, your name they carry. Is this what you want to continue? And your sons look at you as heroes. They look for you, my daddy, 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 and you become this person that is a tyrant. They are running away. Obiora said he could never stay to watch television. The young man was in fear. He was living in fear of a father that is supposed to be loving, kind, warm. That you say, daddy will sit on your legs and be joking, rubbing you, touching your head. And I say it all the time on this platform. When you open the door to come into your house and your children run away, whether you are mommy or daddy, you are doing it wrongly. Oh. Let us learn. Don't say, I'm not doing anything wrong. This is how I am. Leave me. This is how I am. Mm-mm. Please. We can do better. We can. We can make changes. Change is possible. But you need to be aware. Self-awareness is very, very powerful. Sit down, be self-reflective. Think about it. Why am I behaving like this? Why is it that every day there's gbas in my house? Why is it that there's no peace in this house? Why is it that there's always problem? Don't always blame the other person. Reflect. Be self-reflective. Think about it. Am I the problem? What can I do? What changes can I bring to make this a better, relationship? Obiora'S dad was completely damaged. He was a man that was damaged from childhood because of his own father. But he carried on that behavior. Unfortunately, Obiora, his mom, and all the siblings suffered so much. We can make a change. You be the change that you seek. I see. You're welcome, my darling.
Hello, Auntie B. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Not too bad, thank you. Lovely to have you. What do you have to say, sweetie?
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you, Obiora, for sharing your story. Yeah, at a point I cried, and at a point I smiled, and I thank God that everything went well and everything is going on well. And your mom she's an heroine. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I learned a lot. For me, I want to say that yeah, I can picture myself too in Obiara's story. The part is said that when he's in the living room and the father comes in and he leaves, the same thing happened to me because my own I received direct beating from my father, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So and when he's in the living room, he comes back and he's living. I just leave. I go upstairs. So I'm sure he will be wondering what is going on, but that was my experience because any little thing, it was just beating,
Hmm.
beating on handing, and it
Hmm.
has a negative impact. Even till now, we don't even talk much. We
Hmm.
just for asking, okay, how are you? Okay, I've not heard from you from 2 weeks for 2 weeks because I'm here. I'm in a better place now. I have to
Hmm.
try to build the relationship, but there is no personal rapport, you know.
It's too late.
Be- yeah,
It's
it's too
difficult.
late.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just too difficult. I remember he beats me and I ended up, extending the same thing to my step siblings.
Hmm.
And he told me one day, he saw that I slapped my sibling, and he told me one day, he said, "You don't know that he's a boy. He will grow up to be a man, and if you keep beating him, he will beat you back." And my tongue is so sharp. And I told him, "But you beat me too."
Really?
He-
I would
Yeah,
never say your tongue is sharp because you are so calm.
no, my tongue is sharp, because it got to a point, I ran out of the house, and when I came back, I told him everything he did. My stepmother was like, "Is it your father you are talking to like this?" I say, "Yes, but that's what he did." he was shocked. He was opening his mouth, because I had it was too much. That trauma was just is just too much. So I understand Obiora very well, and I don't know from maybe it's from where he was coming. Remember when he wanted to marry his wife, and they told him, make sure you don't beat your wife like your father beat his wives. That
Hmm.
was what they told him.
Hmm.
So it's a generational thing, and he ended up, passing it on to me, all the aggression and everything. He had me when he didn't want to have me. So it was
Hmm.
as if all the aggression and everything was on me. And to cut the long story short, even for now, for me, I started talking to people, even to my husband. I see some things that were not right, because
Hmm.
any little thing there, sometimes that I'll just raise my voice and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Even
Hmm.
at work, I started noticing that, and I started talking about it. And for Obiora, yeah, I know that. I think he mentioned that it's just 2 years. He's in the US. He has
Yes.
been in the US. He needs some time, to find his feet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but just like people advise, I'm sure he has that in his agenda to, to
Yes.
find therapy. It will really help him a
Mm-hmm.
lot. I know
Mm-hmm.
going to a place, a new place, you want to find your feet, and everything. Yeah, it needs some time, even sometimes to, everything is a process. It takes a long time,
Yes.
for you to heal.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's a step. So
Thank
I just
you.
want I
Mm.
just want to say thank you so much, Auntie B, for all you do, and God
Aw.
bless you.
God bless you
Thank
too,
you.
SA. God bless you.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing with us. I'm going to talk to you during the week. You've seen what is happening in the UK now. I don't know what they are locking down now. They've locked Nigeria down. I don't know what's going to happen. But we'll
Oh
talk,
my
yeah?
God.
How is my
Okay.
baby? I hope she's doing well.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's playing
Okay.
here.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
my
you.
darling. Thank you,
Thank
sweetie.
you
Have a
so
good
much.
evening. Okay.
And you too. Bye.
Bye, darling.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Felicia, you're welcome, sis. Good evening. This internet they doing now something. Oh. Once you just add you, the two will just you just jack, you just ran. Felicia, come back. The link is in comment section. Use it again. I don't know what happened. The minute I added you, the minute I added you, Rita said, Auntie B, unfortunately, some of them don't think. You know what it is? It's pride. If they are looking for men that are proud in this world, that are very, very proud, look no further than Nigeria. And if you want to look in Nigeria properly, look at eastern part of Nigeria. Igbo men are very, very proud. You see some Igbo men that are completely good. Like we use them to boast and say, these are the ideal husband. They take care of their wife. They'll be wearing nika. Their wife will be driving Mercedes Benz. They'll be walking with slippers. On the other flip side is that you see some of them that when there is abuse, oh, it will be extreme. So I mean, it's not a tribe thing. You guys know the way I feel about tribe. Abuse is all across Nigeria. And the reason why in my personal opinion, I feel like the reason why this thing is going on generation to generation is the secrecy around it. There's too much secrecy. Thank God for social media that we're about to talk about it now. Thank God that we're able to share. People can speak their pain. This is what happened to me. Previously, people just have to bottle it up, live with it. And there's something about human behavior. The experiences you have as a child, if there's trauma that you've experienced, yeah, it will affect you, whether you like it or not, whether you talk about it, whether you bottle it up, whether you hide it in smoking igbo, drinking, or whatever, being promiscuous and fighting up and down on the street and being area boy and broken bottle on people's head. Life has a way of giving us back what has been sown into people as children. It will come back. It will. It will. So anybody that is listening that is willing to change, you want peace in your life, you know that our forefathers did it wrongly. We are trying to make a change, then you will not fight it. Get with the program. Stop fighting it. Change is inevitable. We cannot carry on like this. We cannot. We cannot. Don't expect people to just bottle up, keep their steep upper lip like British people and sit down and endure abuse and just get on with it. It's not going to happen. No, no. People don't take it anymore. And that's why marriages are collapsing up and down. You don't blame them. People used to endure it. Like Obiora'S grandmother. but it can't carry on. It cannot carry on. Yeah. So my own points to end this show, what I picked up, that the notes that I was making, was the fact that Obiora said that her mom married very young, and unfortunately, this is Nigeria, and it's still happening in Nigeria where women are not empowered. Please empower yourself as a woman before you marry. Okay? If you can't because of your circumstances, find a way to do it before you start having babies. These are the learning from this story. You need to empower yourself. If you cannot have the opportunity of going to school, go and learn a trade, learn a skill. Some of you have God-given skills, that things that you just do effortlessly. You do it. Iyabo came here and told us about how she's good at making hair. She's fantastic. They know her all over Chicago for making hair. You can live on it. So please empower yourself. Very, very important. Being a housewife is very good, but it limits your option. Worship team, you and this internet, you fought the internet to a standstill. You are finally here. Welcome.
Oh, praise God.
You are
I,
very resilient. I can
I,
tell.
I really wanted to come on tonight. I've always wanted to be part of your show.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me join your show tonight. And I just wanted to say well done for what you're doing. You know, I followed a lot of your live broadcasts, and it's amazing. I pray that the Lord will take you to higher and higher places.
Amen.
Jesus.
Amen.
You know, I just want to say to this, my brother, tonight, it's amazing that I thank God that a man can come up and can say their perspective as well. I just would, like everybody has said, therapy cannot be emphasized much more. I pray that the Lord will give them the grace to go together and to seek therapy. And also, like people have said, your mother, please continue to look out for her. I know she's a strong woman. She's an amazing woman. And she has stood. She's a soldier, you know, like women. We don't even realize the strength that we have. You know, I pray that the Lord will continue to uphold her, and she will eat the fruits, you know, of her labor in Jesus' name, you know. So it's been an amazing story. And it's just so, this brother, you know, just hearing his voice, like you said, his voice is so calm, is so smooth. And I pray that whatever his desires are, whatever are the things that he wants in his heart at this moment, that the Lord will grant it.
Amen.
And whatever issues that he's dealing with, and that the Lord will give him, will raise helpers for him beyond his, you know, and all the other sisters, the ones that are still struggling, I pray that the Lord will use him as a point of contact for them, that as he's making his headway, he will carry them along. And the Lord will heal all of them. It's a battle. It's a battle. At the moment, I just have to say this, that there are men don't realize that they pay for these things. I have a case close to my heart that's happening right now. It's a close person. And he's really paying for it now, because he chased all his loved ones away. The people that were with him, the people that were eating from the fruits that they did not sow, they are all nowhere to be seen. And he's a very, this uncle I'm talking about, very hardworking, very intelligent man. But because of, I want to do this, this is the way I want things to be done, you know, he's there suffering. And it is the children that have been abandoned. They're the ones looking after him now. There is always a judgment time.
Oh, yes.
There is always. And that is what I want men to understand, that regardless of what you do, whatever you sow, you will reap.
Amen.
It is not about anybody cursing anyone. And we have to empower our boys. We that we are raising men, raising boys, we have to empower them to be kind.
Yes.
To be amazing husband. We have to pray over them. Pray over the wives that they're going to marry. As you are praying for your son, pray for the wives that they're going to choose.
Very important.
They won't choose the wife that will, you know, my sister, if there's anybody coming on. And I'm saying to you, Obodooyinbo, This is going places, oh.
Amen.
You know, God will
Amen.
raise you. You will make a difference.
Amen.
In that nation, in Nigeria,
Amen.
not just here.
Amen.
All over the world, you will touch lives as you have been doing.
Amen.
And I
Thank
believe the
you.
Lord will take you. And
Oh,
I
thank
really
you.
wanted to come on. I tried.
Oh, see what the devil was trying to stop. All this Wi-Fi, they did not want me to receive this correct prayer this evening.
Yes,
The devil is a
yes,
liar.
I have
That
to.
devil is a big liar. Thank
He
you
is.
so much.
Thank you, my sister.
Thank
God
you. I
bless you.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you, sis.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Wow, that was so powerful. I can't tell you the number of times that sis came into the studio. The internet will not connect properly and say, hey, what's it be this? Eventually, we got it. Thank you, Jesus. So, and I was saying about housewives, somebody said that some men, even if you want to empower yourself, you get a job, they tell you not to work. In this 2021, if you still choose that you are going to be, there's a video I'm going to share tomorrow about that demonic prophetess in Nigeria that was telling women that you have to submit your paycheck and your husband will now give you transport fare from it. You guys should watch out for it. I did a reaction to it. I recorded it already. I'll post it tomorrow so that you can see. This is 2021. We don't live in a perfect society. We don't live in Garden of Eden. We don't live in a state of kumbaya where everything is, angels are walking among us, God is among us, only Michael, only Gabriel, everybody. No! This is the life. Life is harsh. So, women, protect yourself. The first thing you can do to empower yourself is to make sure that you have an income. Okay? Make sure, even if you're a full-time housewife, have an income. Maybe because of children, you cannot work or whatever, but make sure you got some money coming in. If it's from the household money, because his money is your money. If you are not working and you are doing the household whatever, looking after children, childcare, cleaning, cooking, it's a full-time job. So he needs to pay you some money. If he's not paying you, whatever they are giving you to run the house, take some of it as your income and be keeping it for the rainy day. Because there's nothing as worse than not having anything when the chips are down. The chips are down. Obiora told us that the mom asked, we're not blaming her, this is Nigeria, and this was 30 something years ago. This is the lot. This is how they find themselves. Okay, especially in the diaspora, you have much more opportunity, you have more voice and all that. The father that we can't even classify him as Mongo Park. Mongo Park, I never knew that Mongo Park can be better than anybody, but Mongo Park is better than this man. He took the mother and the sister to go and dump in the parents' house because of bring money to buy baby food. You see? And they were begging him. Why were they begging him? Because they couldn't afford to look after the mother and the children. That's why they were begging. Imagine, just think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute. Your family begging your abusers to take you back, to continue the abuse. Think about it. Just think about it. You think the family didn't know she was suffering? They knew now. They knew. They knew she was suffering. But they will look at it and say, wait till this one go chop with 2 children. I beg, make we send am back. Make it go. You don't marry, stay there. Stay there. You don't marry. So stay there. So, but we need to start changing the narrative. And ladies, you can help yourself. Brothers, I've already told you, think about your children. No, this thing has a long. Now, when you go there, now you go see all these things where you do. So, judgment is coming. And you know how people they receive their judgment now? It's not when they die. Now, this life. For this, my job as a social worker in this country, I don't see Nigerian men where they say that they suffer. They suffer the day house, no only then they are in their 70s, 80s, nobody they visit them. I asked one day, I say, now I see the name, na Nigerian name. So me go come, when I say Nigerian name, I want to help them more than even, I want to go above and beyond because now my people, you understand? Now I call the man, ask and say, he say, I know if you cook, I can't cook, I can't clean. I say, you can't cook, you can't clean. Don't you have any family? He said, no, no family. His children, they don't visit him. This, that. He can't talk plenty story for grand in my mind as a sian, Mongo Park. When you were balling, when you were young, you think you'll be young forever. You people should consider your old age, oh. Consider your old age, because these children, if you not do for them, they no go do for you. It's not a curse. It is not. This day and age, now so these children be. They will not do for you. If you didn't care about them when they were children, you didn't provide for them, you were not there for them. You not go PTA. You were there misbehaving. When you are old, then you go suffer. He said, no, the children, they don't visit him. I said, they don't visit. Now you are living by yourself at this age. Nobody to even check on you. The day carers come, you know, the care agency, their head sometimes when they correct. They turn up the day they want to turn up. Some days they don't turn up. Only him will be stranded at home. Mobility problem dey, no fit waka again. Old age don't come body. Sickness don't full everywhere. Now so hospital they go. Now life be this. Is this life? Is this life? Not that he never had a family, oh. Is this life? What can I consider on our old age, oh? It is never too late to retrace your step. Reconcile. Apologize. There's something about African culture that, you know, adults always feel that they cannot apologize to their children. And I said it, me, even at this age when I do with my children, if I do something, I will apologize to them and say, I'm sorry. Why can you not apologize? What are we teaching them? What are you teaching your children if you cannot apologize? You say, I'm the father, I'm the mother, so it's you that should apologize to me. The way they raise children, the way our culture is towards children is so barbaric. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like some people are even abused. They don't even understand. They don't even understand that they are being abused until you come to this part of the world. You can't say, hey, Ashe, this thing is abuse. You will not be looking and saying, hey, Ashe, this is abuse I'm going through. My people. Old age is coming, oh. See, people, they collect their judgment for this life now before they go face God. They'll collect it. And women, what will people say? We don't talk about what will people say syndrome, oh. What will people say syndrome? Please, think about your children. We said it on this show, and I'm going to keep repeating it. Don't say, I'm staying because of the children. Say, I am leaving because of the children. Let us change that narrative. You should leave an abusive relationship because of your children, because you don't want your children to grow up damaged. You don't want your children to experience all these things that Obiora and the siblings experience. Now, I'm out to talk and more. If not me, they talk and I go say, Auntie B, you too hate men. You don't like men. You do this. You're always talking negatively about men. And I don't hear her now. Now, Obiora use the mouth talk and more. And a lot of people in the comment section said, this is my story. This is how I grew up. This is what my father did. This is what my experience was. So what are we saying? What are we saying? Communication. There was a lack of communication there. You can tell. The father could not communicate. That's why all this beating when he beat the mama so. He they beat the mama. A lot of brothers that cannot communicate because of the way they grew up. Because they didn't have a voice in their own home as children. And that's why it is very, very important that you let your children talk to you. As parents now, we don't become parents now. Some of us go become grandmothers. Allow, if your child is struggling with being able to communicate, you have a lot of work to do. Build their confidence. There's something going on. Teach your children how to communicate, how to talk, express themselves in words, because if they don't feel expressed for words, they go express for beating, no. But one way or the other, they go express, sha. So communication is very, you can tell that Obiora'S dad could not communicate. The man knows how to communicate, they only slap. But the only way is to communicate. Basbos. If you want to talk to the mama, like basbos. Should imagine the trauma of a woman locking her children up every day. Go they lock children up for room because they expect beating. I mean, what that woman went through, Jesus Christ. With everything, the in-laws were on her. They were coming to fight her. They didn't give her money. She was left to raise 5 children by herself. And you think the children will forget? They're not they forget, oh. Make I tell you something. If Pikin be 3 years old now, he go remember when he grow up. He will remember. They're not they forget. Oh, my Esco now. You're welcome, my darling.
I say make I wait. I say make I wait till the end before I call him. Thank God say your link still dey there. This story, you dey hear me, Sister
I
B?
dey hear you, my darling.
This story levels dey to Mongo-Pacquianism o. Person go see say, hey, levels
You say
dey
na
o.
Mongo-Pacquianism.
Oh my God.
This one make Annie come. Where Annie? I don't see Annie today. Annie, are
Abeg
you there?
call Annie
No,
make
find
Annie
Annie.
enter
Oh, you need
house.
to give us a name. This one,
I'm,
Mongo Park no fit solve this one. Mongo Park are
if
lesser.
I'm telling you, degrees dey Torah. Annie come late now. Annie go need to listen again.
Make
Unless
Annie
maybe
listen,
she.
come give us name for this one. Anything higher
Oh
than
my
Mongo Park, what we
God.
go call am? You know, say
Wetin
this
we
Mongo
go
Park
call?
come become household name. Now everybody they use Mongo Park. We need to put trademark on Mongo Park.
I'm telling you, because man, I'm
Ah.
telling you, I dey listen to this Obiora'S story. I weak. I no words to add. I dey wonder whether human being dey fit evil like that. I no understand. I say, Jesus, Lord have mercy. What is this?
Okay.
This is
Annie say I dey
evil.
work. Okay. Annie, no
Okay,
wahala. We are
no
understand.
wahala.
Dey work.
Next
But
time,
think am.
next
Think
time,
am now make you give us the word next time.
I'm telling you. As I dey listen to that Obiora story, my heart dey beat fast. I say, God, you see why e good to ask questions, to know the background of a person. It's not enough to just say, oh, I want to marry, you just marry. Because you go dey marry into generation when you no understand wetin their wahala be. Imagine now, as Obiora talk, you might meet someone good looking, everything, but inside is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take the time to know the person, to know their background, know where they're coming from, and
Mm-hmm.
see them in certain situations react, how would you know? If you just marry someone blindly, how would you know? You now enter the house, you can't figure, you can't wrestle with them.
Oh my yeah. Annie say na Jaguar is higher than Mongo Park.
I feel like Annie. Annie don't drop
Annie with
one.
his tiny voice. He said one day they talk, he said, this my small body. Where the body they where they want beats? Which body? Oh, Annie go kill us with laughter for this
I
platform.
tell you,
Yeah.
Annie,
He said na
thank
Jaguar
you.
Park. Na Jaguar Park we go call that one. Not be Mongo
Now Jaguar true true. Lord,
Park.
I say wetin be this. Really and truly, that thank God though. I really respect Obiora for coming to share this story. Oh. Now healing don't start now be that.
Amen. Amen.
For him to
Mm.
even fit open his mouth, start to talk all these things, to explain his experience, share his experience with all of us. His healing
Mm-hmm.
has already started because it takes
Amen.
a level of consciousness and self-awareness for you to decide, you know what,
Yeah.
this is not right, this is not, I need to
Mhm.
speak out. Because once you speak out, you've exposed the evil. That's
Yeah.
one thing people don't know. You've exposed it
And
already, so that means
you are taking your power. You're taking
power.
your
Thank
power back. Yeah.
you. Exactly. So his healing has already started, consciously or unconsciously. All he needs to do is find someone who can listen to him literally. I actually saw JR's comment there. JR was saying
Mhm.
Obiora should call him if he needs a listening ear. I think if I were Obiora, I would jump on that opportunity because that's what he really needs. He needs to be able to say everything that happened to him, right? So that
Mm.
way he himself will be able to point at certain things that he can fix, that needs fixing within him due to the experiences he's had, you
Mm.
know. And
Mm.
there are few, especially during this COVID-19 thing, a lot of cancel. There's a lot of free counseling going on because of this whole pandemic when it happened and all of that. People
Mm.
have been looking for free therapy, free counseling, and all of that. So there are resources available. He just needs to Google it, depending on where he is, to find, where. And there are people, counselors now, that are even charging next to nothing for just
Could they give
counseling.
people? I don't know his immigration
Status.
status, but for
I
instance,
don't.
if you don't have
Mhm.
your green card, would you be able to access his?
Yeah, you should be able to, because there are people who are just like, there are people within the Black community that are offering free counseling services, but he just needs to Google and find which one it is. And
Okay.
I'm on TikTok. Hey, I'm on TikTok. Don't judge me, but they have like counselors that sometimes they come on and give free counseling.
life.
On
It's
TikTok.
amazing. On TikTok, free counseling live. You just see them. They'll just start to they'll go on live and ask people to come in if you need someone to talk to. If you
Why would
need
they
this,
do it online? Why are they doing it online though?
They do it because a lot of people, during the pandemic, it got worse. A lot of people were suffering from a lot of depression,
Yes,
right? There was
and there was a
social
high rate of
anxiety.
DV, even in the
There was
country,
a
in my
high,
country here.
yeah. So what they do, I mean, for DV issues, you don't have to. You can you can contact them privately and say you want a private session. They have private sessions available,
Okay.
So there's a lot of resource available. You just need to find it. That's all.
Yeah.
I was amazed what I found on TikTok. I was truly amazed because you think that it's for children. No, man, there's a lot of resource.
Wait, so you be like say you don't touch somebody nerve with what you said though. Atlantic Entertainment said, I go expose the evil, as someone here said. I will share my story about an abusive woman. Talk to you soon. Obodooyinbo. Okay.
No, it's true. People don't know when
Talk
you
about Amo. I beg, come and talk. Now that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here
Atlantic,
for.
see my WhatsApp number. If you are serious about it,
call in and come and share. It helps you heal. Honestly, you don't underestimate
the
it
power of
talking and sharing. The
People
power
don't
of telling
understand it.
people don't understand it too. It's powerful. Even if you can't talk, sometimes people that are good with journaling, writing, just write down what you're going through, it is therapeutic, man. People don't understand. So that sharing is very important. So I have to give you kudos. Very,
when
very
people go
important.
to counseling, what do you say that they do for them? It is a medication that
That's
they give
the
them.
same thing.
Now talk that they go talk for counseling. No, you talk. Then they give you tools. They give you things to navigate your story. You talk through it and you feel better. Now talking, therapy is talking. See, make una know they bottle things up. It's not good.
It not they help
pressure.
anybody.
It be like pressure. You pressure cooker. When you put
Exactly.
if you open and when they hot, it make boom like this.
Exactly. Exactly. So that might be the thing, because at the end of the day, exactly, JL is right. Some of our mothers are enablers too. They like to cover up some of this trauma.
No, they will tell you their own is worse than your own. Like
Obiora'S grandmother. Than your own.
Exactly. What you don't see, my own.
Yeah.
Sister-in-laws. We are going to have a show about sister-in-law. I've been planning
to
do
my
about
God.
sister-in-law. Sister-in-law own I was past. Sister-in-laws.
Oh my God.
The menace that sister-in-laws have turned to other women's flesh in their brothers' marriages. We got to talk about it.
I'm telling you, because of that, some of women, when they marry, they will come in marry with defenses. As in, they will come say they will deal with the sister-in-law, deal with the mama, because of what they don't hear, and because they try to protect themselves.
Some women are going to say they don't want to marry a man who get mama because of all
exactly
this.
Because of all this one.
But the sister-in-law's own with the overlook them. Now only mother-in-law we talk about, but some sister-in-laws are so they are so devilish.
Yes. Horrible. They are the enablers.
Leave their own house. They want to dominate and control their brothers' marriages.
Exactly. We don't see that one. Plenty. We don't see, and we need to talk about that one too. But this thing what we do, so I really thank God for Obiora'S story. Obiora, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your strength. You've already received your healing. Your healing has already started. Just keep working on it and reach out to find resources that will be able that you can use for now. I know you haven't settled, but you can do these things hand in hand. If it's to find someone you can just share with, that would be very helpful, because you're already in a good place. I can tell from sharing your story. It be like say you already know what's up. You are aware. So you are taking your power back. You've already started that. The fact that you even came to share alone, you've already taken your power back. Amen. The rest now, Jara, you will begin to see healing upon healing upon healing. Just continue in the direction that you're going, and everything will be sorted out. Your sister, they will see you and see the development in you, and also want to be a part of that. And you also can talk to them as well. Be open with each other. You guys should share your experiences. That's also a part of healing, so that all you actually, you keep saying, 5 of you, nothing happened to you. To continue to be like that, but you just have to talk about it freely, so that you will get your complete healing, so nothing holds you back. Because I know you're going to be a great father and a
Oh,
great
yes. And a
husband.
great husband. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
because of what you've experienced, someone else does not have to go through it. I thank you for taking the courage to do that. I thank you for taking the initiative, because you're going to make better generation. Your own generation is going to be far better off, and they're going to have healthy lives because of the step you have taken. You know, this thing, Sister B, say, I don't tell this thing before. This thing a generational thing. If we don't break them, it will continue. Now make our country be where it is too.
Yeah.
Because they know that they cover up unnecessary things when they're not supposed to be cover up. You know, let people be who they are, please. If you not say you know ready, somebody said in that comment section, I don't forget who talk him. He said it's better just don't marry at all. Heal yourself, work on yourself, so that you don't transfer that mess to someone else. Honestly, you know. So I go leave am here, make I not take too much of your time. But as usual, you know, see the love is real, man.
I know. Thank you, my darling. Thank you so much, Omoye. I appreciate you. Have a good week ahead. That pastor way talk say make person they carry money give your husband. So how you see the matter?
You know, say me personally. I know I'm not into pastor level. I can't stand all those things that are happening, especially when pastors they now turn themselves to mini gods. I don't understand the level of ignorance that people, you know, currently the level of ignorance that people are operating under. That someone will come and tell you such a thing and you actually buy into it. That's some level of brainwashing that I can never understand. I can't understand it, you know, because people, right? Here's the thing, you know, our culture, because Babalawo method, now the same way that they treat pastors. So somebody has to be in the middle for them. They have to be a priest that is. So then that person, that is still higher than normal person. So whatever he tells you to do, you will do. That's what it is. Let's just call it what it is. People don't think for themselves. There's no critical thinking. Nobody, if you go to church, sometimes I go to church now, the pastor will talk something, I go say, I disagree. I'll carry my bag, I go walk out quietly.
I go disagree with pastor. Anyway, make we
not openly. I'll just carry my bag and leave quietly.
Even if somebody knew your thoughts, this is they are thinking that you should never, like, he's not a human being. Of course he's a bloody human being.
Once he gets on that altar, right, he's operating under a different. Once he gets out of that whole thing, he's a human being. His members are being used. If he passes the message across, and again, God can send anyone to talk to you. It doesn't have to be a pastor, right? So these pastors, they've elevated them, and you know, now people fought. Not be the pastor's fault. Now the people when they elevate them, you know, to that position when they feel say anything when they talk, they go do them. Exactly, they go sign everything. They go lose their lives for their pastor. It doesn't make sense.
I don't record the video. I'll post it tomorrow.
Okay. No, I'll go listen to Ram. All right.
Thank
love
you, my
Sister
darling.
B. Enjoy your Sunday.
I will. Thank you so much, Amoye. I appreciate your contribution. I thought I saw Common Sense Sisters earlier on in the comment section. How are you doing? I just wanted to see if you guys are okay. It's been a minute. I want you guys to know that I miss you. I love you very much. I know life takes over, but I wish you the very best. Compliments of the season, Ella and Yo-Yo. I love and appreciate you. Olivia.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm so nervous.
Why? They can't see you. Don't worry. It's just me.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very nice, so don't worry.
For sure. I've been with you for years, and I can't remember, but I know you were about 30,000 followers at a point in time. So I've been with you for like forever. So just hearing this story, it was heartbreaking. I just had to call in because even though I have a similar experience growing up, it wasn't as bad as this. So it's like I can imagine the trauma I experienced. So just imagine someone going through that same thing. It's so, I don't know, it's just so painful. And I'm just so proud of you, Obiora, your family, for all you've been through. I mean, I just don't know what to say. You should be so proud of yourself. And I understand the trauma from going through such a painful experience. And I know that just hearing from your voice, your personality. I know you're someone who would go so far, and I know you'd want to be the best version of yourself. So I'll keep supporting you. If you can go for therapy, please do. I've tried at some point, and hopefully in the future I'll try more when I make more money. Because obviously therapy can be quite expensive in the US if you don't have insurance and stuff. But yeah, and I think I also want to respond to someone's question. Someone said, how would you date someone who's been through an abusive experience? So basically, I was seeing someone in the past. We went to the same high school. We had the same experience, and that was how we actually bonded. We connected. But turns out that this person became their father.
Yeah.
Turned out to be an abusive person. So even if I love them, and I know it's really hard to tell someone to leave someone that you really care about, but at the end of the day, you have to think about yourself.
Yeah.
Your safety first. Encourage them to seek therapy if they really love you, if they really want to be with you. But if they don't love themselves enough to like improve themselves, there's no way they're going to be good for you. So encourage them to go to therapy, and when they're good enough, when they're safe, then maybe you can try dating them again. But I encourage you, stay away. Please, love from afar. That is from my personal experience. It's not safe for your mental health, because I'm still struggling with that till today. So Obiora, please, I am so proud of you, your mom, your sisters, your family. I'm just praying for healing, because I feel like it's going to take a lifetime to heal from things like this. I cannot imagine what you've been through. So it was so good to hear your story, for you to actually push me, an introvert that never talks,
to come. After all these years, you finally showed your face.
I'm telling you, Mommy B, I listen to you every single time, and I just don't even know. Sometimes I think I only typed once in the chat section, but even for me to actually take the courage to speak out and call, I am so encouraged to actually speak about my own story, because even to today, my mom is still going through it with my dad, and after 40 years of marriage, and they're trying to get a divorce now. But I'm telling you, I'm so glad I'm not in Nigeria to experience that, because the mental stress, her sisters, her family, because she comes from a very poor background, but so it's very similar stories like this. Like, so it's very painful. I can't even speak on it, but maybe one day if I have the courage, I will share. But hearing from other people makes me feel like I'm not alone. And just to hear that people are being through worse and they've made it out of it to today, I am so inspired to do better. Thank you,
my
so
darling.
much. You touched me in a special way, and I promise you it's gonna get better for you. And I love the way you don't take nonsense. That's just the way I am too. I don't think anymore, because I used to feel really bad for people who tell me their stories, because I've been through similar stories, but I also realized that some of them can turn out to be the monsters that they hate. So you have to be careful. So I don't, zero tolerance for abusive people.
Don't turn yourself to a therapist for someone. You are not a therapist. That's not your role. If they need someone to help them through their healing, let them go and get real therapy. Don't be a therapist that you are not trained for. Okay.
You just spoke my mind. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Olivia. Thank you very much for joining us. And stop being so introverted. You speak very well. You're so composed. You're beautiful. You sound very assertive and composed. So please call again. I'll be looking out for you. Okay.
Okay, I will.
Thanks,
Thank
my
you.
darling.
I love you.
Love you very much. Bye, sweetie.
For all you do.
You're welcome. Bye, darling. Bye.
Bye.
Right. So, with Olivia's very sweet voice, we are going to end the show on that note. She's saying, please, if people are going through stuff, allow them to go through it. You are not the one that is going to heal them. You are not the one that is going to make their life better. So don't take that role of a therapist or someone that is going to, some people go into a relationship because of pity. A lot of women say, oh, I felt sorry for him. Or the man will say, I felt sorry for her. No, don't do pity relationship. It never works. Okay? Don't pity anybody. Not like you will not pity them, but don't go into a relationship because you are pitying them. That's why it's a very, very bad foundation for relationship that, oh, it's pity that made me do it. JL, thank you so much, Junior. I thought I saw you in the studio 1 minute. I'm so happy that you're back. Yeah, how is it cool? You're preparing for Dirty December. Enjoy on my behalf, oh. Thank you so much, everyone. Obiora, I appreciate you for being here tonight. May God, your healing will be permanent in Jesus' name. I pray that you will go on to do great and mighty things in the US. The Lord will turn your story into, will give you the strength to be able to go. You will go through this, you come out, you'll be successful, and it will turn it into a message for you. Okay, it will turn into a message for you to help other people. Yeah, to help them and to also build other people who've been through it. So you will not look back and say, this is me 30 years ago, this is me 20 years ago. And God is going to do all that for you in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. I'm going to call it an evening. I did say something about having a Brazilian show. I say Brazilian show, having a show with someone from Brazil, and I was asking for people who come from Brazil. I haven't heard from anyone. Please, if you are from Brazil, I beg you, I need you, help me. I need your help. Contact me. My contact details are on the screen. And if this story has triggered you in any way you want to share, we are always here. We are welcome. We'll welcome you. Come and talk to us. We'll listen to you. And then, we'll support you as much as we can. Thank you so much, everyone. And the live show is back on Tuesday. Tomorrow, there's no live show. Yeah, I did say there was one tomorrow, but no, it's Tuesday. So Tuesday, we are back with a guest. But tomorrow, I'll be dropping that video about Madam Pastor that is chatting nonsense. Have a good evening, my people. Thank you so much for being here. Junior, don't stop rubbing it in that you just ate egusi. Why are you rubbing it in? Because you know that we don't have egusi. We have egusi too, even though we don't have fresh ogunfe. We don't have fresh ogunfe, but we have egusi too. Okay, so Junior, stop rubbing it in. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for everybody that's contributed. Obiora, we're sending you warm hugs and love. It is well with you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and God bless your week. I love you very much, guys. May the Lord keep us. Thank you. Bye-bye.